Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of the High Ground Podcast. It's my podcast anniversary. Been doing this for this is episode 53, and I brought on some amazing creators that I don't know really helped me in getting started. That been here since the beginning, and I thought it'd be awesome to bring them all out and talk about it. But we're gonna get into that right now. Hello and welcome, my amazing panel of esteemed guests. I'm super excited to have everyone on and talk. But yeah, enough about me. Let's go around the room. And for anyone that doesn't know, I mean, I don't know how anyone could not know all of these people, except for the ones that physically can't see Shaylee.
Who is that below me? I can't tell.
Wait, are you serious? Is my camera messing up, or are you just making fun of my lighting?
Oh, I thought you knew. Yeah, I don't know what your lighting situation is.
Yeah. No, it looks like just a bunch of lines. Maybe
this
if you
is the
can
worst.
turn off your camera and then back on.
But y'all can keep going without me. I'll sit here and try to figure this out. My bad. Sorry, new computer, mine broke.
The suspense is killing me.
It's all good. Let's go to Josh first. All right, let's see. Who are you? Where can we find your content? And who's the most underrated character in Star Wars? Like the coolest character that nobody talks about.
That nobody talks about. Okay, sounds good. Hi everybody. My name is Josh. I am more commonly known to most of you probably as Mesa Windu, and then later Mace R Windu. That was my alt arc. And then I came back to the standard Mace Windu again. So it's good to see all of you on this historic podcast. Darth Chaco, thank you for having me. I'm proud to be next to some of my favorite creators on here. When you gave me the lineup, I was like, oh my God, really? This is amazing. Stoobs, I wasn't expecting you though. I was like, oh my God, yay. You guys can find me on TikTok more commonly at Mesa Windu. You can also find me on Instagram at Mesa Windu. You can find me on YouTube at Mesa Windu. I'm pretty consistent across the board. The most underrated character in Star Wars that nobody really talks about. I gotta say, one character that I've always liked was Bail Organa. I've always been a big fan. I don't know. I know everybody talks about Bail Organa, but I guess an underrated character that I don't think gets enough credit. I think so too. But I think a character that probably doesn't get enough credit for that. I guess a close second would honestly be Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, though, because I was talking about this on Twitter earlier today. But I was like, they raised Luke for almost 20 years. People their plot in Star Wars was to die essentially, and that was supposed to truly put Luke on this journey, because that was what was keeping him anchored on Tatooine. But I was like, Luke turned out to be a pretty cool guy, in no small part thanks to his aunt and uncle. So props to them, and I hope we explore him more. So yeah.
He seemed really broken up about it.
Yeah, for about 2 seconds, right? Yeah.
DePaul, you are the man. I always appreciate it, and
awesome.
And DePaul has a twice a month podcast himself, Conspiracy Cantina. That is great. So check that out whenever you get a chance. But yeah, absolutely. And how about you, Megan?
So I am Jay Stoobs, is my most notable alias. And you can find me on TikTok. That's where I'm the remotely biggest deal. If you're remotely speaking. And yeah, I'm on Twitter and Instagram, but it's less fun over there. But I also have a podcast with Straw Hat Goofy, of wide renowned fame, and it's called Geeks of the Week, and it's everywhere. We have a YouTube page as well, but hey Shaylee. But yeah, it's mainly on we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everything like that, everywhere you find podcasts.
Yes, and it is amazing. Oh, I should also be shouting out, when you guys first came on, Josh Mesa Windu first came on episode number 10. We talked about the Clone Wars, and no joke, that was like a 3-hour long podcast. And then after we shut it down, we talked for another hour. Like, we just had fun. Megan brought you on. You were with Josh again, his second appearance, and back when all you were doing was talking about old movies.
Yep.
And we talked A New Hope, and that was just good times. Who is your most underrated Star Wars character?
So, I know, like, I'm going to go with most underrated that, in my opinion, is probably Lando Calrissian. I know that, like, Lando gets a fair amount of love, but in my opinion, it's nowhere near enough. I'm obsessed with Lando completely. I think that he is so cool, and Billy D. Williams made him so cool. But then, obviously, when Donald Glover took the helm, I was like, oh, okay, like, I need more I need more Lando content. I need to know what's going on with him. I think his story is so cool. I love, like, L3 and that whole dynamic. I love that he was the original, well, not the original, but, the owner of the Falcon before Han. I want to know more about him. Like, when the Lando show was announced, I was so excited. And they have not given us a single detail since announcing it. So I'm waiting.
No, it is a good choice, because he does. I feel like he does deserve a lot more love. I mean, I'm sure he gets a lot of love, but if you're checking out more, just the 5-issue Lando comic is great. It's on point. Highly recommend. Last Shot by a friend of the channel, DJO. Great story as well. How about you, Shaylee? Shaylee came on episode 5 and 6. We were talking what ifs, and then we just went off on Phantom Menace tangents, and I was like, had to have you back for that. So that was awesome.
Yeah, that was so fun talking about the Phantom Menace. That was the first podcast I'd ever been on too. Like, so I was like, oh, I'm nervous, and it ended up just being so much fun. You're like such a great host, and yeah, that was so much fun.
Awesome.
Remind me of the questions again, because I was trying to figure out my technology situation. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no worries. No, I'll have you, and also I'll do some shout outs in the chat real quick, so you have some time to think. But no, just to introduce yourself, where we can find you, and then who you think is underrated in the Star Wars universe. I got Gray in the chat. Love Gray. She's just the best. Cad Bane, he's getting more love right now, but yeah, we haven't really seen a whole lot of them. Brams is talking AP3. Let's see. The
Rickman droid.
Yeah, yes. Back to Jack Who says Snap Wexley, and if that doesn't tell you that it's Kev28, I don't know what else. Well, Sanatos is calling
for
Broom
Snap
Boy.
Wesley.
Broom kid.
2 broom, 2 kid.
Yeah, we got some really cool. Let's see, Padme's security chief.
Captain Panaka.
Captain Panaka.
Yeah, he's a good one too. Really good one.
Captain Panaka and his wife, Captain Panaka.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Captain.
I just thought of this. Quarsh and Worf, security chiefs.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that was intentional.
Oh, true.
But yeah, Shaylee, go ahead. Where can we find you and your good stuff and your underrated character?
No, my camera, y'all. This is a disaster. Yeah, I'm Shayla Wren on literally everything. TikTok, my Twitch. I do Twitch stream. I've been doing. It feels like I've been doing TikTok now for many years, even though it's only been a year. It's your podcast anniversary, but I feel like a veteran. I feel like I've been there so long. But and as far as I don't know the most underrated, that's a very hard question. But 2 characters that came to mind when I was thinking about underrated, Mon Mothma. I feel like in Rebels, as far as like characters in the Rebellion, is super sick, and I feel like nobody talks about her. And then Maz. I think Maz is super cool and interesting too, and nobody talks about her. I mean, I don't want to say nobody, but not enough, not nearly enough. I think those are 2 characters who really like came to mind for me on underrated. I think they're both so interesting and wildly underappreciated.
I agree. We actually get a tiny bit more of Mon Mothma in the Aftermath books, and she is kind of a badass because it's like the founding of the New Republic. And then in the audio drama for Dr. Aphra that recently came out, she's getting chased down by Pirate Queen Maz Kanata, and I'm like, all right, I just need more pirates in Star Wars in general.
More
But
pirates, please.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
In general.
We have our resident pirate expert, so we'll defer to that.
Accidental, of course. Yeah.
And Pep, Element 7.
Yes, I'm Pep or Element7 _Element7_ on TikTok. That's probably the best place you can find me, but I also have a YouTube channel called Element7. And I do have a live show every weekend with this very person, this host, Darth Chaco, which arose from me being on High Ground episode 3 with The Balance.
Yes.
We'll talk more about that, like, I guess when we get more into the other topics, but just in general, you know, approaching that episode where the kind of the initial thought was that we were going to have discourse, and then just finding out that we were lockstep with just about everything in Star Wars, and then I was like, diet in the Force, let's do this.
Pretty much. I was like, I think we'll disagree. And yeah, we did not. Let's see here. We got Darth Tauntaun, who's calling for Greedo underrated.
Yeah.
DePaul, Yub Nub for life. Gray also enjoys Luminara.
Yeah, I guess for my answer, I'm going to have to go the lore route and say Jocasta Nu, because no one talks about her, but she's responsible for saving what little she could from the Jedi Temple and enabling Luke to find it later.
That's true.
So without Jocasta's, last-ditch efforts after Order 66, Luke doesn't become a full-fledged Jedi that he becomes.
Yeah, man. History majors for the win, man. Finally.
Absolutely.
Finally, something it was not to waste. My degree was not wasted.
Hey, if history majors get a lightsaber gun, like a lightsaber rifle, like Jocasta Nu, then I'm in.
Yeah.
Don't let this robe fool you.
All hands.
We got Colonel Meeber Gascon. And we have some, Gar Saxon, Cody. Yeah, lots of awesome call outs. How about you, J. Kevin Parker, who was on the very first episode kind of by accident, but we'll talk about that story in just a moment.
I end up a lot of places by accident, my friend. So, I'm J. Kevin Parker on almost all social media. I do have a YouTube channel that's called Epic Worldview, and I'm slowly putting content up there. And started the new, whatever it's called, the little shorts that they have on YouTube. But TikTok is definitely the place where I am the most. And I've been on TikTok about 1.5 years now. But that was, 2 accounts ago. I started the current account in September of last year. And so it's been finally a wild ride since then. But I've made a lot of friends along the way that have been with me the whole time. So that's where you can find me. Underrated character, Salacious B. Crumb. No, not really. Can't stand those little monkey lizards. But I would
got
say
a beautiful smile, though.
It's the laugh, man. It's
Yeah.
the laugh,
Full of
man.
joy.
Wedge Antilles. I'm going to go with Wedge Antilles.
Wedge is cool.
Yeah, there's so much cool stuff about him. I mean, he started off as, an Imperial TIE pilot, and then moved on to, of course, the Rebellion, and then the New Republic in the last trilogy. So there's a lot to his story that I think is cool.
Yeah. He ended up because Wedge is also touched on more in the Aftermath books.
Mm-hmm.
He does end up getting the girl in the end, but it's when you accidentally uncover your girlfriend's lost husband who's been in prison for like a decade, and you're just like, oh man. it's just rough for him. Let's see. We have some love for Wedge as
Yes.
well. For Embo, sorry. Right underneath it is also Wedge. Julia Christine surprisingly says Satine. It's not very surprising.
Shocker.
But yeah,
I'm surprised she didn't say Corky.
so am I. I think I was gonna say she's corkied herself out, but we both know that is not true.
I feel like all the characters from Rogue One are underrated too, if I'm being honest. Like people
Very fair.
appreciate Rogue One, but like
see
nobody
that.
talks about all the characters.
Yep.
Except for
Yeah.
Stardust M on TikTok. She gives them all the love for everybody else.
Absolutely.
She is holding it down for sure.
Does
can't-
anybody ever talk about Chirrut without doing his, like, imitating him?
I have not heard one person have an extensive conversation about him for more than 3 minutes without the I am one with the force. It's like, all right, bro. It's like,
Or is as the Force wills it.
yeah. Can't help it, man. They can't help it.
Little
We're like,
kid.
we know what you're trying to do. I get it.
I talk
Alright.
to my kids a lot about that character because my kids are half Chinese, and so for them to finally get some representation in Star Wars was really cool. I mean, I know we've had the one like Asian pilot that's like at the end of Return of the Jedi. I think that's about his whole line.
Yeah, literally.
and then he blows
wow.
up.
Oh wow.
So it was nice to finally get that in Rogue One. So.
I'm sure you've shown them all of Donnie Yen's stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean they're also into kung fu, so absolutely.
Yeah, and for that, I'm also very excited for when Epic Worldview starts doing coverage of Shang-Chi, which I'm pretty sure I'm still mispronouncing, but I'm trying. I will not try still, but I want to go to Megan first on this one. I got to ask, what was it like when I first reached out to you? Like, how was the experience, and why on earth are you willing to come back?
The first time?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was like a baby, the internet baby. The first time you asked me, like, I think I'd been on TikTok for like 2 months, something like that. It was, I was very overwhelmed by it all. My channel was like doing different stuff. I originally thought I was gonna make like book content, and then I started talking about movies, and I love movies, and then I like made a couple of Star Wars videos. And when you reached out to me, I was like, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. I'm going to be on a podcast. Like, I was like very excited. And I was very nervous. And you sent me the outline for the episode, and I made like 2 pages worth of notes so that I'd be ready. And yeah, it was so much fun. Mace was there. It was such a good time. And yeah, so I think I came on, I was only able to come on one other time, I think, when we talked about the books, the High Republic books.
So that was on Dyad,
yeah.
but you came on and we broke down Padme stuff.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, with Miss Eggy.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a really fun time, and especially after I read those. Oh, right, because I had read the Padme books. Those Padme books that you recommended completely changed my opinion about the character, which was fantastic. So yeah, I mean, I've been a huge fan of you since I got on the internet. So like, get it, like you reaching out and being like, hey, do you want to be on the podcast? I was like, I've made it. I'm going places. And then it was so much fun that I wanted to do whenever I could.
Well, I appreciate. Oh, also came back for the our Spider-Man discussion. That was,
Oh,
that
yes.
was fun as well.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, and now you're out here kicking butt, and I'm like, man, I hope she can teach me how to create content one of these days. And then you touch on it a little bit, Shaylee. I'm just going in a circle, starting with a different person each time. Shaylee, what was it like when I first reached out to you, and like your experience?
Well, this story actually holds. I feel guilty about this because you had actually reached out to me before, and this is proof that I don't check my DMs. I didn't even see Ray's message. He was like, reached out to me, and I didn't even notice at first because I don't check my DMs. And then once we became mutuals, and I had like finally like gotten to your side of TikTok and like got to like follow you and stuff. You asked me again, and I was like, oh, he has sent me a DM before. Oh no. So that was my experience when you reached out to me is guilt. And but it was okay because then I ended up being on the Phantom Menace podcast that you did. And that was so much fun because no one ever wants to talk about the Phantom Menace with me. And so I was very excited for that opportunity. And I was so nervous also because I at that point I was like, I am not worthy of being on a freaking podcast. I'm just some dummy with an iPhone on TikTok. And I Megan said, I wrote like a page of notes, like watched the Phantom Menace and like took notes. I was prepared. And so it was a ton of fun. And like as soon as we started talking, I was not nervous anymore. It was just such a great experience. And it was one of the first times because I had like started to make friends and meet people through TikTok that I hadn't got to like sit down and like discuss Star Wars with people. And that was the first time, I think. And it was just like, this is great. I need to do this all the time. So I just had like an overall really awesome experience with that. I was so glad you asked. So of course I came back as soon as you asked again. I don't remember what the second topic was though. It was Phantom Menace and something else.
Yeah. Well, first we did What If, and then you and I went off on a tangent on Jedi power battles for like 15 minutes during the podcast.
What If was first? Before the Phantom Menace? Oh, I thought Phantom Menace was first.
But then,
I forgot.
and I know I've had you on several times, including 2 weeks ago, but you did come on also with Josh in Element 7 where we talked about the Mortis arc.
Oh, that was one of the most fun I've ever had. Like, talking Star Wars. That was a great episode.
Speaking of which, are you still single?
Why would you see?
Oh, I'm leaving now.
It's been months, bro. It's been months. We're back on that again. You're gonna punk me every time I get on here. You've had your fun, haha.
You're never escaping it. It's just like the Coleman Trevor thing.
Might as well. Oh my god! Don't get me started on that. I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point.
Well, yeah,
Just not right now.
But yeah, Element, how about you? We're in a very different situation because I joined and I was like, I want to be like that guy. I'm like, would you like to talk?
Yeah, and like my personal situation was also very different because I was still kind of contracting, and not really full-time content creation like I am now. So like my schedule was like wacky, and I couldn't commit to anybody really like on a set time. But this was during the first kind of surge that I had on TikTok, where, you know, people were finding me and they wanted to listen to me and they wanted to ask me questions. And then you had reached out. I think it was either Twitter or it was DM where you were like, do you want to talk at some point, like come on to a podcast? And I was like, this is weird. Like, this is because I was still new to it. Like, no one ever like gets like 60,000 followers in a week and then they're all of a sudden a professional at correspondence with, you know, content creators and collaborators. So like, of course I was busy at the time, so I couldn't commit to anything. And I had done one interview with another podcaster who was talking about like up and coming creators, and it was just a short stint. Then I saw on your channel, you posted the first episode with JKev and a dude named Kev, and I was like, oh, I want to talk to them. So I made it an extreme priority to, you know, elevate the opportunity to talk to you guys and talk to you on High Ground, and it just so happened it was a one-on-one, and
yes.
It just, you know, the rest is history.
Yeah, that was a good one, and it's still one of my most popular ones that pops up. I definitely have to say thanks. Star Wars lawyer Chris here y'all are just too kind. Because I'm just having fun here, and I don't know, it's the best. How about you, Jacob? I still kind of laugh about how we first got connected and like, you know, making such a good internet friend. But like first episode, I've never proof of concept, something I just always wanted to do. What was it like for you?
It was amazing. I mean, you were a natural right out of the gate. I think that was a lot of fun for me. I'd been on podcasts before, but they were all like professional industry stuff. I'd never got to do nerd podcasts. And so I've just had a wild ride since you asked me. And then I've been on several others since this one. And it's been a lot of fun. So I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be part of that inaugural episode, that first one. And I mean, I knew right away that you were somebody that was going to bring positive people around you. I mean, I think I met you when you were like brand new on TikTok and you had like a couple of thousand followers. And then I was like, this guy's going to make it. He's going to do a great job. And then the people in this group are proof to me that, you know, you bring around amazing people because you are all some of my favorite content creators. And I wanted to be associated with that. That's why I'm back. Since that's one of your questions.
Yeah, no, I lucked into it and fell ass backwards into amazing people, which is awesome. But
I would contest that. I would say that there's a lot about you that attracts people that are awesome. So,
and I also say thank you so much to Brooke as well. And then also check out Far Far Away Factory. She makes amazing things, like incredible,
amazing.
But all right, so you didn't mention the full story though. So, and sadly, another person that was on the first episode, which is a dude named Kev, couldn't be here because his work schedule doesn't allow it. But originally, I had reached out to Budget Jason Statham. Because he was making Star Wars content then. Of course, he famously quit Star Wars and started making political content because it was less controversial.
That's actually
sad
really
but true. Yeah,
that's actually really funny. True too. What a brave man.
Star Wars has burned out some of the toughest political content creators when they try to come over. So yeah.
They went in there and they dipped their toe in the water and they like singed their toe off. They're like, all right, going right back to this.
Well, it went better for some than others. Most notably that Cam dude.
Yeah.
How many times he got stitched for being an idiot?
I feel
we dunked on him a lot.
You know,
shout out to Blackbird.
Yeah.
That Cam video is probably still my most viewed video.
Oh my god, I loved seeing the entire Star Wars community come together to be like, nope.
That ain't it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've never seen somebody so consistently dunked on by so many people, and I was just like, bro.
I mean, he might as well have been Pong Krell because we all united against him.
It was the Simpsons meme. I was like, he's already gone. No, stop, please. Yeah.
Darkness on Umbara.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Amber. That you guys are awesome. Also, I got where'd he go? Connor Fahey in the chat. So when you guys are some of my favorite content creators, I really wanted you guys on because you're still making content. But I've had a lot of amazing guests, you know, like Connor Fahey, Brooke, Fern,
Victoria.
Yeah, Miss Victoria. Community. So many amazing people. Again, the goal has always been like, hey, I want these like positive people to their voices to be louder and like to have fun. And then feel really sad when they all surpass me. But it's
the awesome algorithm. That is nothing to do with you.
No, I know. It's
I think you just need to buy a pirate costume. I think that's the proven method.
What you got to do is
or
you got to wait
all the OnlyFans that
you got to do it on. Oh my gosh, you got to do it on a random Thursday night on the 29th of January. and you got to do it around 11:30, and then you got to get on a TikTok live. That's how you do it. Yeah, that's how I found out. It was insane.
I
still feel-
thought something went wrong. I was in your TikTok live, and I saw the number. We were at like 80. I was like, oh man, he's doing well. And it was like 120, 200,
Yeah,
300. I was like,
yeah.
what?
I had
was
dudes like I had dudes in my live, and they were like, "Bro, like, what happened?" And I thought I got banned, and I was like, "Wait, what?" They were like, "No, bro, you're everywhere. Like, I'm trying to get rid of you, and you won't go away." And I was like, "What?" And people, I looked up, and it was like 180, 250, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, bro!" But that's enough about. Yeah, I miss those days. If you want to ask me,
Can't forget about the OnlyFans teaser trailer that Chaco did.
that
Oh my
did
God.
bring
I
that
do
did bring
remember that
that did bring some heat. You know.
with the hello there at the end. I was like, "Bro, hey, you got a market here. Let me."
Coming soon. I ended up getting a job, so I'm still gonna hold that in reserve, and also I need to get lifting Chaco back before that comes to fruition. But so what made you guys? I didn't do Josh yet. Josh,
Oh, wait, what was the question? Oh, okay, hang on.
first time coming on. What was it
Oh.
like when I reached out to you?
So you were my first ever like booking, I guess. I guess you could call it that. Hey, do you want to come on the show? I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. I don't know what to do. Yes. And so I went on. I did the same thing that everybody else did. I watched the movies again. I was like, let me see, take some notes. And then I finally got on. When I finally got onto your show, which you did a great job, by the way. The moment we started opening our mouths, it was breezy. We were just having a casual conversation, which is what I kind of expected, because everybody here loves Star Wars, I think, as much as me, if not more, to an extent. And so I had a feeling it was going to be easy to be able to discuss these things that even we disagree with, because we're all mature human beings, and I wasn't concerned at all about any negative or anything like that. And so I had a lot of fun. You were one of the first creators that I ever saw on the For You page. I think that the algorithm kind of knew that I was a big Star Wars fan, which is weird to me, because I had never really let them know that. I was kind of just scrolling through stuff, and they just gave me Star Wars stuff. And then I followed you because you gave a lot of cool facts, and I was like, he seems pretty cool. And then through you, I found Element 7, and then through both of you, I found Shaylo Wren, and I eventually found J. Kevin Parker. I don't remember when I found you, Jay Stubes. Was it like around October? It feels like that was when I
Probably.
maybe later, a little bit later in the year of 2020.
October, I was making mostly horror movie content.
Okay.
But yeah, I would jump around a bit. Back then, when I first got into movies, I would like sprinkle the Star Wars content in. But I was just telling somebody recently that like I didn't have a big enough following that I could guarantee that a video would do well enough. And I made a lot of videos that attracted the wrong side of Star Wars TikTok. So I got some really negative. I was like, I can't do
growing
this again.
pains. Yeah, we all had some growing pains. Like, oh yeah, we don't want that side. No thanks. No.
I mean, I might be
yeah.
exaggerating, but the first video that I saw from Megan was her calling a commenter a dick.
Outstanding.
That was
That sounds
outstanding
like
first
me.
impressions.
Outstanding. I love
was like,
watching our
plus
earlier,
sign.
I love watching our earlier videos where like all of us were kind of more unrefined and angry.
Yeah.
So you look at like early, and like it's literally us just going, "Hey, fuck you, buddy," and it's like, okay, see, I wouldn't do that today. But
We could get away with it back then. Now I get
Yeah.
reported for bullying all the
Yeah.
time.
I got kind of nervous
Tell me
after the
about
pirate
that,
stuff. I was
yeah.
like, all right, I got to tone it down a little bit.
Somebody literally sent a death threat about my toddler.
Oh,
And I responded to
I
the video,
heard, yeah.
not even addressing the guy, just being like, maybe report this account because he's doing this.
and they got after you.
Yep, they banned me.
Oh.
When I asked to appeal it, they were like, nope, you're a bully. I was like,
Outstanding.
okay.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
But that's why I don't do
a
that
dozen of
anymore.
those.
It's like you want to, not to get off topic, but like you want to say stuff that you just can't, and you're like,
Oh my
ah.
God.
bro.
So much, yeah.
But no, that's kind of my story. I'm glad we all found each other. I'm glad you found me, and I'm glad you thought enough of me to invite me onto your show, because it was one of the best experiences on this godforsaken app that I have ever had the pleasure of having. I wish I could go back and do it all over again, because we had that much fun.
Brandon,
It was funny 'cause you were
Brooke's
like-
message?
What happened? What is content creation if not calling someone a dick person? That's awesome. Way to go, Brooke.
That is beautiful.
Awesome.
Also, Mara J, like, oh, you guys are just being too kind, like, right now.
wow.
But I appreciate you, and I recently had Beth on for one of my best episodes ever. Shaylee was on that one as well.
So fun.
Yeah, just awesome. Check out my Women of the Galaxy episode if you have not seen it yet. It was something special. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. So it's been an interesting year for sure, like you guys were saying. Josh, I found you, like, I had seen some of your stuff before, but there was a video of you just hating on The Last Jedi, but doing it so respectfully that I was like, I like this guy. Like,
I was very
he
nice about
he has a brain. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like some people they just go nuts on it. And I was like, okay, he's someone that I disagree with, but I respect, and like he's a good guy. And that's when I followed you, and I was like, I want to talk Star Wars with this guy because he, you know, I mean, he's a real person. So
I
The
am.
reason I
I've
followed
checked.
him too.
Really?
It was the Last Jedi hate video, but you know,
I
intelligent
really
and not like the usual talking points. He was just saying like what the problems he had with the Last Jedi,
okay.
not saying, "Oh, the Last Jedi's trash." Like he was like, you know, talking about it.
I'm pretty sure that's how I found him also.
Yeah.
And
I-
everybody says
every-
that I only gripe about people who don't like the sequels. I'm like, no, I gripe about people who are dicks. See, there I said it, Brooke.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I'm more than happy to discuss any type of disagreement that you have, really across the board, but Star Wars especially. Any disagreement, even if it's a vehement disagree, like I'm like, I don't agree with anything you just said, but you portrayed it in this way that I respect, and so we can have an actual conversation, and at the end of the day, come together in our general love for the franchise itself. So it just disagreements don't mean anything to me. It's when you recycle and use the same damn talking points and gimmicks,
Yeah.
and you know, some people do it to boost content, so don't get me started on
I
that.
think everybody here is well versed in, you know, civil discourse, but
Mhm.
when it comes to like Last Jedi trash, it's like, why? Poor writing. Okay, well, what was written poorly? Just poor writing.
It wasn't written
It's
good.
bad characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what it is.
they didn't understand. Oh, understand what? The movie,
the
Oh.
agenda.
the agenda,
The
the
Force is
narrative,
female. That's why.
the
What
narrative.
Plot.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy, the dictator. Yeah.
The Force is female. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't even a
I love
Star
that
Wars related
controversy.
thing.
I know. I love pointing that out, and they don't care.
Also, thank you so much to Gray and Brian with the beard. You guys are all wonderful, and I'm happy that
And all invited to the ramen party.
Did you guys know that people
ramen
didn't
party
like
at Star
Canto
Wars
Bight?
Celebration?
True.
and Xanatos as well. Yeah, I've never gotten stuff like this before. It's crazy, but really appreciate it because you guys. I know
Well,
this like
thanks.
the whole goal was to build a community. You know what I mean? And like.
Mhm.
And it's something I've never experienced. Like I've played like games with you guys online and stuff like that. I've never done that before. I always did all the stuff solo. Pep laughs because he saw the very first time I ever tried a game online. I was just utter trash. I'm still trash, just different type of trash.
I'm laughing because the very first time it was in Echoes of the Past server. You came in, you're like, "What's this all about?" I was like, "We're just talking." It's like, "Oh, this is like a voice channel."
I totally forgot about that.
and then I think we were playing a Jackbox game, and he's like, "Oh, so you guys play games here?" Oh, I want to try this one day. I gotta go, and then he left.
I gotta leave now, guys. Bye. It's like, oh, dude,
He was such an infant.
that's
in Discord.
adorable.
Because I had never even used Discord before. Like I was just trying to figure all this stuff out.
Look at this character development.
Exactly.
Season 1 Chaco.
Yeah, it's
Outstanding.
Pilot.
well, I mean, for you guys, like, what has this past year of life been? Because it's been weird, and it's felt like 3 years in one.
Mhm.
But then also, what has this year of content creation meant to you? Because you guys are still all creating content in different forms and just kicking ass at it. Shaylee, we'll start with you.
As much as this year has been hard for everybody, I think that for me, it was so necessary to like be forced to do a lot of introspection, and through that introspection came the content creation, because I had made like random videos here and there, but most of my life I had never had my own sense of like identity. Like I had kind of been a watered down version of me to fit in, desperately try to fit in. And then because of TikTok, I was like, there are people out there that are like me. Why am I watering myself down? And like that's one of the best things that came out of content creation this past year, is just being unapologetically myself and discovering the person that I actually am, and not just who I was presenting, if that makes sense. I think that's probably a common experience in this past year. But so this past year of content creation has, like, not to be dramatic, but it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. As much as it sucked, like, there's so much hate, there's so much, but like the good outweighs the bad so much, and I've made so many friends. Like, I had spent my entire life with friends I had nothing in common with, and then all of a sudden I'm surrounded with so many people like y'all who I can be myself. I can talk about what I want to talk about. I can bond with y'all, and I feel like I can be understood. So content creation has brought me like a literal family. So that has been my experience the past year, is like self-discovery, embracing who I am, finding a family. And like a family sounds so dramatic, but I'm so serious. So Star Wars is all about found family. And like that's what I feel like it brought me in real life this year.
I mean, is that a
Hearts,
yeah,
hearts
that's my
all around.
answer.
Yeah, man.
is that a Fast and Furious quote?
We'll go into space with that line, man. Yeah. But you know, you're absolutely right. Like where like you were hi Suki, you were projecting like an image of yourself without actually projecting like yourself. I kind of felt that too. Like I remember like cuz like I was in a not a rough spot when I first started posting, but like I just kind of just sat around and did nothing. I just worked and then went home and worked, and I still do that. TikTok helps though. But I remember when I finally started talking about stuff like Star Wars and stuff that I really wanted to talk about, and then people were actually responding. I remember early on I had no intention of making TikTok a thing. I did it just to do it and be able to create an account to talk about it with other people. It was going to be like another form of Reddit in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And so when I posted videos every now and then, and people would be like, I actually agree. Can you expand on this a little bit more? And I'd be like, oh, okay, I'll expand on it a little bit more. And then boom, like a month later, you have 15,000 followers and they all want to know what you think about this new thing that came out. So you are then almost like encouraged to, you're like, you know, I actually do want to do this a little bit more because they're gassing me up and they want to hear my thoughts. I didn't think that I actually mattered that much. And that kind of translated across all forms of social media and in life in general, because I've felt my confidence go up a lot in life. Like I remember it was like 4th of July or something like that, and I would walk down the street and like people would be like, oh, happy 4th of July to everybody and blah blah blah, and I made like a post where I was like, happy 4th of July, everybody. Do better, America. One of those things. And then I had people who knew me from TikTok come to my Instagram and they were like, bro, like, absolutely, like, you're amazing. Like, I not to be like a like whore. Like, I've never been one of those guys, but like when I saw so many more people like on my accounts talking about stuff that I wanted to talk about, being invested in the same stuff that I was interested in, it made me go like, huh, like maybe I should be proud of where I am right now. Maybe I should be happy that where I'm at right now and not be dissatisfied with where I'm at. And maybe I should be glad that there are so many people out there that support me in whatever way they see fit to support me. So I completely agree with that. It kind of helped me jump out of my shell and like become a more confident human being. And I really I'll always respect my experience in TikTok for that reason.
Yeah, I'll probably echo the same sentiment because, you know, content creation wasn't new to me. I was actually posting my reviews and covering Rebels each episode, like I do the Bad Batch now, on YouTube, and you know, it was most likely a hobby at that point, but I was still exploring those things creatively, and you know, it was a side of me that needed an outlet more so than I thought it should. And I think I started, you know, I downloaded TikTok because like I just wanted to see what it was all about. And for some reason, the algorithm knew. Maybe it had talked with and exchanged information with my YouTube data, because the first couple of videos was Star Wars related. I had seen Colm talking about lore, and I was like, "This is awesome." And then
Colm the goat.
Yeah. So like the first stuff that I had made was just garbage. Don't even go that far. don't go down that rabbit hole.
I'm curious now.
Everybody go and leave comments.
The first Star Wars that I did was telling everyone to shut the F up about clamoring for George Lucas to come back, because you don't get to do that after scaring him away.
But you were right though.
Well, yeah, but that was like the disgruntled version of
oh
me,
yeah,
you know. And
Season
then
0.
and then I had and then people started commenting about all of the stuff about the sequels, and then I had made one video explaining why Kylo Ren lost, and I think that was when J. Kevin Parker found me, and he started we became mutuals and started exchanging messages, and you know, I started correcting this misinformation and putting out the knowledge that I had been sitting on, basically. Because when you're like a lore guy like myself or Brandon, like it is tough to be that, you know, well, actually guy, and but at the same time sit on that knowledge, knowing that people are actually misconstruing that information, like sometimes willingly, sometimes purposefully, for the clickbaits. And so I had started on that.
Well, actually, only for good. So that's
yeah.
That's the good well.
That's an important distinction.
We actually need that one. Like,
Yeah.
We'll take it. I mean, but this past year, like, you know, when that surge of people came into my channel and started following me, it was like 30, 40, 50, 60 within a span of 4 weeks. I was like, well, I guess people want to know what I'm talking about. Or there are a lot of people, as much as many fans as there are in the world, a lot of people still don't know a lot about Star Wars. And so what started as like me answering questions about like the sequel trilogy and explaining things that if you paid attention you would have known, it just turned into me, you know, answering general questions and about Star Wars in general and canon. And so like this past year has really given me the creative outlet that I didn't know I was seeking. And then of course it brought me to everyone here who I absolutely love.
I appreciate all of y'all. And then Julie Christine, thank you. And if I am the reason why, you know, or this community is the reason why we get so much amazing Corky Kenobi content, as well as the Star Wars English Teachers podcast, then yeah, I'm appreciative. It's amazing. We also have Chris in here, and did I get Brian's as well? anyways, I just want to make sure I, reach out and get everyone. But yeah, I'm appreciative of this community because this past year, I lost my job. My wife's health was really bad at the time. My mom is immunocompromised, so I'm worried about her. People that look like me were having a hard time at that point in time. I don't know if any of you remember any of that. And yeah, someone had to give, and I was like, you know what, I got to do something, and so that's why I started making content, and then like all this awesome stuff started happening because of it. But it was to keep myself sane, and y'all really helped me do that.
I definitely have to give a special shout out to you because, like, we were this community, and where I am now would not be possible if you hadn't been so down to do the Dyad in the Force every week, because that is a commitment, right? And we barely knew each other. We had one episode together on High Ground. We're like, oh, we're clicking, we're lockstep. But when I said let's do a duo show called Dyad in the Force, and you were like, let's do it, I was like, awesome.
And also a special shout out to my wife Bree, who was like, "That sounds awesome." Like, all right, cool. How about you, Megan? This past year, I mean, I know you've doing a little bit less time, I think, but yeah, what has this year of content creation and like just the past year been like?
It's been really wild. This year was weird for my family. Like my husband and I both worked in restaurants in Washington, D.C. when the pandemic first happened. And it was not a great time to be restaurant workers. So yeah, we kind of figured out all of our stuff. We were also like still really new parents. My son turned 2 right at the beginning of the pandemic. And so yeah, it was just a lot. We ended up relocating, and we're in North Carolina now, which is a lot better for like our current lifestyle. But yeah, I had already been kind of like on the brink of figuring out doing something that more lined up with what I wanted to do. My whole life has been just trying to get by, basically. Like I graduated from college at like the peak of the recession, and I graduated with an art degree, so it was not great. And I ended up working in a bunch of different things and getting into something that I actually liked, which was restaurant marketing. Same time, it was like I had gone on a path of like doing things that I didn't like for such a long time, that getting to restaurant marketing, I was like, oh hey, this is like the tiniest bit creative, so it's great. And then when the pandemic hit, I was like, I'm turning into like this corporate shill, and I didn't like myself. And yeah, we were just working a lot. So it was needed, I think. I downloaded TikTok and watched TikToks for like 3 months, and then the drive to start making content, I feel like it was just kind of desperation. I was like, I mean, this is maybe I could find a creative outlet in this. And again, in the beginning, I really didn't know even what like niche I was going to be in or whatever. But I'm glad I did, because mainly I just found really cool people that reminded me that it was cool to be passionate about things that a lot of people had told me for a long time were unimportant. And yeah, maybe in the grand scheme of things, Star Wars and comic books and movies are unimportant, but they mean a lot to me, and they mean a lot to other people. And it was really cool to find a community of people that feels the same way. So yeah, it was a very long, I feel like, journey getting here. And thank God for TikTok, because I'm not funny enough for Twitter, and I'm not hot enough for Instagram. So I found a place that subtly finally accepts me.
All of you are gorgeous.
I'll second that.
Yeah, it's certainly been like I only because I actually like enjoy business stuff, and I was listening to Gary V, and he was always talking about how like TikTok is like a big thing, and I was like, oh, whatever, I'll download it eventually, and I didn't, but I always knew I wanted to start making some content. And so I literally like went out and spent like $100 on this mic before I'd ever made any content at all. Zero content anywhere ever. And I just bought a mic and I went on a friend's podcast, and like my first TikToks was May 3rd, and then May 4th I was like, Star Wars Day, we're getting started. My very first TikTok got like 300K views, and I was like, "This is gonna be easy."
Yep.
And it just didn't happen again. I've actually never gone viral like most, like Shaylee has done it multiple times.
The Padme one where she jumps from the you
God.
guys know,
Iconic.
Historical.
Legacy.
There was an article on that one. You should be verified.
Screen rant.
It kills because another creator made my same exact video, and it went viral, and he got like interviewed, and it was millions of views.
Oh,
and I was like,
me?
come on, man.
Oh,
and like
man.
people, his comments like, Jocko just made this, and I was like, no, he
Be nice, but
And-
also
well, but
At
it's
the
like,
same time,
I doubt he was copying me. We probably just came to it at the same time. I don't know.
it's
doesn't matter
possible.
though.
It happens.
Yeah.
it certainly happens between us.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, y'all are how I get all my ideas. Are you kidding?
I knew it. Cut the feed. I need to talk to him. Let me stop.
But yeah, how about you, J. Kev? I know this is you had already started out, and you've had 3 accounts, but I talked to you right when you switched to account number 2, I believe.
Yeah, that's about when we met up. The first time I got permanently shadow banned, which there's some things broken about TikTok, but the community is what I love about TikTok. And I'm the resident geezer of this group. I'm approaching the beginning of middle age, so that makes me the oldest here by like a long shot. I had no design on TikTok. I didn't care. I didn't even know like it was a thing until my sons, who are sophomores in college now. That's how old I am. They were doing goofy things and playing the same video over and over. It's like, why is that audio just repeating? And they're just laughing hysterically. So I went and downloaded it so I knew what they were looking at. And they were starting to try to do like those dance videos. I forget what one of those early, ones from early 2000 or 2020 or 2019. I forget. But I don't do that because I don't dance, and you're all welcome for that. But I just thought,
I'm gonna need to see your Renegade, sir.
yeah, no, it's mostly just Cabbage Patch. So I started making content just sort of as a joke. I did one of them, but then I thought, oh, okay, there's this. I watched Endgame again, and I noticed this thing with Tony Stark. It wasn't even Star Wars; it was Marvel. And I noticed when he was figuring out time travel, and I need to remake this video because that was 2 accounts ago. That the theme for The Walking Dead plays over the Avengers theme, and so I need to make that video again so everyone can hear that. I'll do it tonight, so none of y'all steal that. Nobody on the thing. But I did that, and it got like 450,000 views. It took like 4 months to get there, but I was like, yeah, I'll just keep making some videos. And like Chaco, like they didn't all go that way. In fact, they didn't all go that way this week. But I've been learning a lot. I've needed a creative outlet so badly because I've always been creative. I was in music for years. My wife is a musician, and then we had kids, and I just had to focus on my career. I've had a couple or 3 of them, and I got to where I did creative stuff there. Like I'm a public speaker. I make presentations and design. I designed websites for years, so I got to do some creative stuff, but I didn't really. It wasn't fun. And I have all these weird ideas in my head. And finally, TikTok gave me a place that I could share them with at least a couple of people and, let the pressure valve off a little bit with all the craziness that goes on in Kevin's head here. And people liked it. And I thought, well, dang, I'm going to keep doing this. So it's been, I got back into guitar. So I've been playing and singing again, which I didn't do for years. And I need that balance. And so I really appreciate this community. I'd basically given up on Star Wars fandom when there was that petition to, make The Last Jedi not canon. And I just thought, these people are idiots. And I'll just never be a part of that. Marvel all the way, buddy. And then I got on TikTok and I found a lot of you, and it all got better. So I really appreciate all of you and the people in the chat.
We're taking over YouTube now. We're taking over YouTube next.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's not gloss over that point in time where you needed to create like multiple accounts to get around that mess on TikTok, and then they like let you out of jail.
yeah. So this third one, I tried to be better. Like it just baffles me that you can't compare like Palpatine to Hitler without getting permanently shadow banned because you had a swastika on the screen. I even blocked out his face and everything. And this app, I tell you, it's like, and like you, Jay Stews, I've called people out for being complete idiots. I'll be nice. I'll be family friendly here. And I'm the one, like, for racism and all kinds of crap. And then I'm the one that gets called out for being bullies.
TikTok is the king of gaslighting. Like,
so I think a lot of that, as a technologist and guy that leads in some of the information science and technology industry, a lot of that's the algorithm and the AI that's behind it that has not been trained very well. I can tell as a user, consumer of this, but they do seem to be hiring more people in the US now. So I'm hoping some of that gets better, but we'll see. There'll be new issues that they'll have to overcome. But anyway, the creative outlet and the community is what it is for me. I just appreciate the people. A lot of my best friends now are people I met on TikTok. A lot of them are my kids' age, which is a little strange, but
you said sophomores in college, and I was like, damn, I graduated 2 years ago. Shit, man. Like,
and I've got 3 more coming up after that. But
hey, good job, man. Good for you.
Man, you're a regular Kiadi Mundi.
If I could ever get them to post stuff, I'm like, I know a ton of people that you would be good friends with. My kids are awesome. They're just kind of shy right now. They're in that phase, but they
have an open invitation to be on Dyad with you.
Well, I appreciate that. Especially, we'll probably do some stuff around Shang-Chi because they're going to be, some expert witnesses on some of that stuff. And they make me so proud. And my goal to be on TikTok, a lot of people ask me, like, how do you put up with all the bullies or whatever? I was bullied a lot as a kid, and I don't like bullies. And when I finally decided to stand up to them, there was no turning back. And so I'm going to stand up to bullies in the fandom and try to get people to calm down a little bit. If not, I'll just, try to shut them down. So the rest of people feel safe doing things. And I love that it's not only the people who haven't, bothered anybody that I'm, protecting, but some of those people that were just being, goofy idiots and didn't realize, nobody had challenged them. I've made a lot of friends from them as well, because they've actually, I don't usually make my content for them, but it's a good sort of byproduct when some of them turn around and they're like, you know what, I don't want to be a bully either. And I that's why I do what I do, is I'm trying to make people think about what they do. And these stories, I think they're making totally important, all the comic book stuff, movies and everything, because they help us to think about right and wrong and good and evil. And sometimes it's very blurry, and that's also important to talk about. So I love these conversations.
I legitimately think that this stuff and comic books are the most important genre, personally. But what were you going to say, Megan?
I was just going to say, I mean, I actually really do too. I do think it's funny because for so long I let people and, just like society in general make me think that my interests were unimportant. But I've always been really interested in literature and storytelling. And if I'm telling the truth, I think that storytelling is essentially the greatest achievement of humanity and the most lingering thing that we will ever do. I mean, I think it's the way we relate to each other, and it's the entire purpose of the human experience is to try and better understand your fellow man so that we're not truly alone. Like, not to get too dark, but like, life is essentially meaningless, I feel like, and I feel like you make meaning, and connecting to each other is like, there's no greater meaning than trying to understand someone and trying to empathize with someone, I think. So I love story, and even though people want to, a lot of people, come on a page and say it's not that deep or whatever. And I'm like, I mean, it is that deep, but
I mean, you're not that deep. That's what I say back to them.
No, but you're absolutely right though, because stories are the only thing that have survived these major culture shifts. We still are talking about the Epic of Gilgamesh today.
Yeah.
The languages and stuff are gone. We don't have any, we don't have anything from them, but the stories are what remain, and you'll find art and stuff, but art is just stories being told a different way. Yeah, that's beautiful. I love it. I also think that storytelling, the ability to tell stories, is probably the single most important skill, because it's communication while entertaining. If you go into sales, that's telling a story. If you go into marketing, that's telling a story. If you become an artist, that's telling a story. It doesn't apply super well to the tech side of things, but if you want to get a job in tech, you got to do an interview.
You have to be. Communication is the key to everything. And for those of the people listening in that are wondering, how could I get started? These people all seem like they're giants, and you all are giants in great creativity. I was terrible when I was like high school. I was terrified of public speaking. I was a bad communicator. I ended up having to give like the valedictory address at my school, and that was terrible. And it never got worse than that, because it was it was so bad. And the talk about tech, it completely failed on me. And so the whole thing was a nightmare. And I used to wake up sweating, thinking, oh, I'm going to have another speech like that. And I've been doing immense public speaking since then. It's taken me decades to get to where I'm at, and I'm still learning. But don't feel like there's any place where you can't start from. So it just takes practice, right? And communication, like you're saying, Chaco, is so important in any industry, in any job you're ever going to have. Yeah. And I envy those who can tell stories well, because that's always been a struggle for me.
Especially. I doubt that. But real quick, I just gotta say thank you for Aiden Talk Star Wars topics. Again, this is really surprising and not typical, but I appreciate y'all.
You deserve it, man. You're amazing.
Hey, can you hook me up with a loan though?
I've been actually meaning to talk to you. I want like half of these earnings. I'm seeing all these numbers, and I'm just playing with you, man.
What are our dividends out of this?
Yeah. So this is getting divided.
Dividend means.
Yeah, this is 6 ways, right? I'm just playing.
I mean, if anybody has got a claim, it's the dyad.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if what's mine is yours. Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of which, communication is important if the dyad's going to, host the next High Republic show from Lucasfilm.
Fair.
That's in game. That's not a it's not a suit around the world. It's us hosting hosting panels.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to I have some background in public speaking, but I was really trying to learn how to do extemporaneous stuff. And just holding this has helped me vastly in that regard. And it's funny because even with my new job, all of us are like doing teleconference and stuff like that. And I'm like, these people are bad at this. Should I take over? I know, it's just kind of funny how it all just how it all bleeds into everything. But how do you guys feel about the Star Wars community as a whole? Like, we've talked a little bit about it. How has it changed in the past year? Has it changed? And where do we go from here? I'll go to Element first.
I absolutely love the community as a whole right now. Like, of course, there's going to be those outliers. I'm going to call them outliers, okay? Not the majority. They're the outliers that are kind of.
There are more of us.
Yes, there's more of us, and they're going to be hating all the time. So I don't really care what they say about anything else. The community that we've built, the community that we're a part of, everybody here on the panel, everyone in the chat, I love you guys. This movement that we started to change the conversation around Star Wars, where you could engage in civil discourse, talk about the movies critically without, without trashing it and without bringing fans down for what they love. I think it's just incredible how far we've come, because now, before, when I was first starting out, I had so many questions in my comment section that I would choose to answer, and all kinds of facts to spew. Nowadays my comment section is filled with questions and people from our community answering those comments with the stuff that
I love that.
that we've espoused thus far. And so, like, everyone is like pitching in. They're like, no, this is what happened in canon and stuff like that. And like, I don't need to answer all of these questions anymore. I just be selective about it and kind of take a break and get some sweet tea. But yeah, it's like everyone is at the same time that they're learning, because we have this book club. Everybody is like reading these books together. Everyone is catching up to canon. Everyone is in the know with what we know. And so, like, every time I see someone answer a comment in my comment section to a question that I would normally answer, and then they answer it with what I would normally answer, I'm like, this is awesome. So I think the community, I mean, there's still a lot of work to go, obviously, there's still a lot of work to be done. Transitioning over to the YouTube side, because the YouTube side is like the last frontier in terms of changing the conversation around Star Wars. But in general, our across our Discord servers, across our podcasts, across TikTok, across Twitter,
Across the stars.
Exactly, across the stars. I see 9 times out of 10 more positivity about Star Wars than negativity, and I have to search for the negativity. Whereas before, that was the status quo, and I had to search for people who liked Star Wars. So now either the algorithm has shifted, or the conversation has shifted, and
the community has definitely shifted a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, more thoughts. I'm loving the conversational thing that we're doing. I only call on people because if they don't say anything,
I can build off of that. I mean, yeah, I largely agree with pretty much everything you said. One thing I also really enjoy, it's kind of piggybacking off of you have to look for negativity now. One good thing that I've really enjoyed is seeing like a video that kind of like encourages the toxic part of it, but then you kind of see that like somebody will like tag you in it, or like you'll see somebody tag Darth Chaco in it. Like I've seen that a lot too. Like I've seen videos where I'm kind of like eye rolling, like, oh, it's one of these, but then I see like the top comment is tagging one of y'all, and then you go, yeah, this is bullshit. And I'm like, yep, thank you. All right, yep, cool. Just letting you know. Yeah, putting you on notice, buddy. You are not getting away with this one. But I do appreciate that there's starting to be a lot more pushback regarding like, oh, like I'm just going to close my brain and say this, and then have everybody come to me and agree with me and talk about how bad these people are that I've never met in my life. I'm glad that now there's more people that feel more confident after watching some of our videos.
Yes.
and saying, hey, like, I don't think I agree, or I do agree, but I think you can word this a little bit better. Like on any level, I appreciate it. So it's really frustrating to see somebody say something that would be considered gatekeepy or bad or just rude, and there's nobody in the comment section or making another video saying, hey, that's kind of messed up. Like there's a more mature way of handling this, and the fact that you haven't done that kind of worries me. I think since since the last year has passed, I think a lot of us all of us really have done a really good job of changing that dynamic. So I will always appreciate that.
And I got to do a shout out to Cal here. I really appreciate it. Cal's an awesome dude. I think he's now part of Shaylee's community as well. And yeah, we became friends in a comment section on an episode of The High Ground. I was like, "Hey, dude, message me on Instagram." and then
He was at Ground Zero, the genesis of Marvin Stevenson. I also just really quickly, Chaco, how many mentions have you had today with followed by thoughts?
I couldn't tell you because one of my older videos blew up as a thing that people stitch, and now my entire feed is just people stitching it. Which
nice. I was just asking based off of Josh's stuff because like that stuff happens on the regular.
Yep.
Just thoughts on this? Is this canon? Is this true?
Yep. Sometimes it's just them trying to stir some stuff like, oh, I know this person disagrees, so I'm going to tag them and get them to get riled up. But sometimes there's people, and this is good, sometimes there are people that are legitimately asking you like, hey, is there any truth to this? And then you can come out and immediately comment. You don't even have to make a video. You can just say, nope. And they're like, all right, cool, thank you. I remember one time, I think Darth Chaco was just fed up because I kept getting so many on my For You page. There was one where somebody said something about Kathleen Kennedy or something, and somebody tagged, I think a bunch of people tagged, you may not remember, and I had to scroll all the way down to your response, and people always were commenting like, thoughts on this, and then you just go, I'm going to bed. And I was like, hey, man. Hey man, I feel you, man. You probably get like 50 of these a day, man. You're like, I'm not even answering this. I'm not even answering this, bro. I wish I could find the video. I don't remember it. This was a couple of weeks ago, but oh my gosh. You were like, huh? And I was like, damn, man.
Occasionally someone will tag me in something, and I actually, even if I don't have the same take as the person, as long as they've stated facts and things, I'll back the creator up. And that shocks some people because they think I'm just going to jump in and defend the sequels or whatever.
Right.
Like, if y'all haven't been paying attention, I have something that I'll defend about all of the Star Wars media because I like all of it and I have problems with all of it. So, let's have those kinds of conversations. And I know a bunch of people tag me and stuff that I don't see because my notifications overwhelm me. And I don't know. I'm like about 5 months behind in answering some of those. But there are some times where people will tag me in something like you were saying, Josh, to try to like stir stuff up, especially like if it's a female creator that had done something. And I know that gets on y'all's nerves because it's like, does this person really know this stuff? And I will jump to defense if I see that kind of stuff. Like, you don't need to ask my opinion on this. This person knows exactly what they're talking about. So I think we need more of that. I would also say, my whole life, people have told me to stop, bringing out the negative stuff and like answering, just ignore that stuff. But if you ignore it, this is my problem. Not everybody should answer it all the time. Not all of us are equipped to do that. I feel uniquely qualified. In fact, I'll take the crown on that because I've been called many times the most toxic Star Wars creator on TikTok by a certain group of people. And the projection is amazing. Like what they do to people, like,
You're called that by the most. Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
It's the tolerance fallacy. I've had this conversation with so many people where they're like, oh, I thought you were supposed to be tolerant, or if you're calling somebody out, then you're intolerant. And it's like, no, you can't be intolerant of intolerance. Like, like you have to, there comes a point where if you don't address it, then you're just allowing it to grow and to fester. And
so and these guys feel emboldened. Yeah.
Exactly.
They'll
and
light
I've
you up.
seen so many people comment on your post specifically being like, wow, I never would have like thought about this before. And I can see this character from a whole different perspective now. I think it's also helpful. Like, I've noticed this on TikTok where if like a creator of color or like specifically a Black creator talks about like racism, like what happened to Star High Goofy, where people are just like, you're reaching, this is bullshit, whatever. And they'll come and attack you because they know that it's a sensitive topic for you. It's like literally something's wrong with these people's brains, and they literally attack people for that. I've seen it happen to women too, female creators who talk about misogyny, and their comments get flooded with just horrible people being there's no such thing as like there's women have equal rights in this country, misogyny is not real, blah blah blah, calling me a misandrist or other creators too. But
misandry's not a thing.
It's so not a thing. But when a creator not from the marginalized community addresses it, I've noticed that typically the comments are a lot tamer. Like I've noticed
Yes.
it in your comments too, Deathstroke. Like when you address misogyny in the fandom, people tend to be a lot more calm than they are with female creators. And I think it's so important that like you
Makes me
guys,
sad.
it is really sad and it sucks, but it is still unfortunately important. And I love that you guys are out there doing that. I try to do it for like other communities as well, and just constantly be speaking about things to remind people that it should be important. All of these issues should be important to everybody. And you guys do a great job of that.
And to add on that, I think it applies, you know, from talking about misogyny and talking about race related issues. Like it's important, and again, not to get on this soapbox, but like it's important for people like when they're talking about like black relations in America, it's important for our white friends and like to really reinforce that, because when you don't, it's like it becomes an out of control thing. Like when misogyny is rampant, it is important for the men to come out and say, hey, this is like, we have to check that too. We have to do our part on this, because since they clearly don't want to be adults and listen to when women talk about this, rightfully talk about this, the men need to come out and say it too, so that they know that they are truly in the minority, and they have to say, oh, wow, maybe I should, I'm sorry it has to take that,
Yeah.
but that's what needs to happen apparently. So I think it applies to both of them. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you know, going back to being tagged for in videos asking if this is true or what are our thoughts on that. The first time that actually happened wasn't about, you know, someone that was being negative and someone tagged me asking for my thoughts. The first time someone tagged me in someone else's video was Shaylee's and asking me if she was right. And I was like, well, watch the video. she puts the sources there. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've learned
What's
you
wrong
have
with
to
you?
put sources. I have to. That would
Oh my
take
God.
forever.
I always put sources for everything that I post.
nah.
Also, shout out
You-
to Ace Bronx. I appreciate you. But sorry, go ahead, Shaylee.
I was just gonna say, when that happened, there was a period of time where that was a more common of an issue. It's not so much anymore, but when that was happening a lot, y'all, Brandon and Pep, did a great job of supporting me and being like, yeah, duh, like it's true. So I just really appreciate the comments y'all left when people would do that. Yeah, that was not fun, but it's gotten a little better. I think I called it out at one point, and then people kind of chilled. But I also don't make as many lore videos, so if I get back into that again, like if I have a topic I want to talk about, we'll see.
I appreciate watching you beat up people in your comments. It's just like my favorite
Oh.
thing ever.
Shaylee is
I love
savage
it.
these days. It's amazing.
I mean,
I'm
some
Yeah,
of the
the
videos.
Boba
y'all.
Fett one, oh my god! I was like, oh, here we go. I was not going into the Boba Fett one that you posted the other day. I was like, yeah, let me check into these comments. Let me put on my hat. Let me put on my hazmat suit real quick before I go in here. Yeah,
I have to get my popcorn. It's
I was
amazing.
like, she is so brave for being so right, because that's like she's so right. Like,
Oh, I try to just look at those. Like it used to drive me nuts. Like those comments, like, "Oh my god, these people are never going to take me seriously." But now I just see it as an opportunity for content to slam dunk on somebody.
Great
See the
do you
dollar
have an
signs
issue
now.
with that?
Some of those videos where she's actually punching, like she is punching them,
yeah,
but
she
just like virtually instead
Yeah.
of camera.
she like zooms across the room, like, yeah. Shaylee, no mercy.
I'd just like to say that I've learned a lot this year listening to all of you and several other creators. I've learned a lot about institutional racism, about misogyny, things that, I mean, I've always been against those things, but I never understood them like I do now. And this is why I think a community like this is so important, for people to listen to voices, not only voices that sound different, but people that look different, people from different cultures, people from different backgrounds. This has always been my MO. I've spent, you know, my entire life trying to listen to people who didn't, you know, look and grow up like me and that kind of thing. And I'm all the better for it. And so, like, there are things I finally think I understand now in 2021, at least as much as I can, sitting where I sit. But I didn't understand them well, you know, when I was 30. which was, over a decade ago.
Mhm.
So I appreciate all of you for that. And I think as an ally, I do my best to like amplify voices of women creators and creators of color, especially if it's a topic that I shouldn't be the one that's the authority on, because we're not trying to have a savior complex here, right?
Mhm.
So I do my best to try to amplify that stuff. And then I'll speak out harshly on some things, but I'm addressing people that look like me who may not understand things as well, so that maybe they'll go and listen to the rest of you. And that's, if there's anything I can ever do to do that better, I'm all ears. And so I appreciate you for that. I've also had to look up a lot of terms in Urban Dictionary over the last 18 months for things that I've been called that I've never been called before. And I have a whole new vocabulary, and it's amazing.
New language.
Yeah.
I've actually never been called a feminist, like in public, until I got on here. I'm like, you know what? I'll take it. There are some other, SJW or whatever. Yeah, like yes, I do think that women should be able to own property and vote and do all kinds of great things. Thank you for recognizing that. So, yeah.
Chaco had to look up what poggers was.
I still don't quite understand it, to be quite honest.
It's not a
but,
thing.
No.
It's not a thing.
Okay.
I feel like I remember first time I got a comment, people were like based, and I was like,
Oh, I had to Google that.
Okay.
I had to Google it too.
I think, and without getting into like the nitty gritty of like politics, I know we're talking about the high ground and largely it's Star Wars, but I will say that my time on TikTok has pushed me considerably further to the left.
Oh my God.
I will say that. I was like, I remember one time after one of the high ground podcasts, I asked everybody, I was like, hey, y'all are based, right? They were like,
I
yeah.
remember that.
I was like,
Yeah.
hey. We were like, hey.
And then I asked you if you were single.
Which
I'm off the
Switching cameras, are we?
No, I mean, I really do think that, like, to the ultimate question of how has the Star Wars community evolved? TikTok, I truly feel like has revolutionized the way that like the entire nerd community exists. Like, I think it says a lot that like this panel is full of amazingly influential people on the nerd side of TikTok, and the one white man is the guy that spends all of his time championing for marginalized communities and just being all around awesome. And that's what honestly made me feel comfortable, because every nerd space that I'd ever been in before TikTok was just a bunch of really kind of angry white dudes. I mean, like,
I've never liked them either, by the way.
it's just, so it was really cool. And I do think that like the nerd space is changing and TikTok is making it a more accessible space for everybody. And I think it's really cool personally. Like, I've never seen anything like this happen before, and I'm glad it's happening now.
I'm always happy to be the token, by the way. I prefer a group like that.
It's been so weird, just the random stuff that has come out of making 1 minute videos. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
making friends with all of you guys. I still envy Shaylee for getting to go to Victoria's wedding with a bunch of
that's
other
true.
TikTokers and stuff.
we got so close to people on TikTok. We're going to weddings now.
Amazing.
That's
I had
okay.
a good joke moment, though.
We sent a wedding video and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
and
that's great.
Victoria's the best, by the way.
Oh,
not
she's
in the chat, but
amazing.
She's the best. But like, I don't know. I've followed Star Wars Explained forever, and we got to like chill with him. You know, we get to talk to like Daniel Jose Older and like Star Wars writers now. How does it even work? I don't even get it.
Kind of happens.
Yeah, it just kind of
It
happened.
literally did. I mean,
Yeah.
Chaco messaged me one day. He's like, I think we're going to interview Daniel Jose Older. I was like, what? How are you just... Can you just say good morning first? What is this? Like,
Where's the hello there?
And then he was like, yeah, well, I commented, and he said yes. So we're going to do it. You know?
He had
Nice.
just started on TikTok. He was replying to all the comments, and I was like, shoot your shot, man. You know, like
Yeah,
It's always
exactly.
worth it.
you miss all the shots you don't take, right?
We're going to interview Claudia Gray after Labor Day. That's going to
Yeah.
be a thing.
Are you really?
It's not booked yet, but she said to come back after Labor Day.
Oh my God, how excited are you, Element?
Tell her I'm an enormous fan. My God, yeah. Wow, good job, great job.
Yeah.
I mean, in advance.
I'm Inspector Lee in his car listening to Beach Boys. By the way, which is like happened to be like an organic evolution from the Dyad in the Force. Just this Lee and Carter business, like we always just bounce off of each other like that. It's crazy how that works.
It's funny because like in my regular life, and that's one of the other reasons I appreciate this geek community so much, is because like the amount of times I quote Rush Hour 2 in my regular life is obscene. But no one ever gets it or knows that that's what's happening. And I'm finally around my peoples.
They don't understand the words coming out of your mouth.
Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. It's like one of those, like, it's like a flavor of ice cream that you never expect would go well together, and you're like, bro, this ice cream is amazing. Like, it's like, what?
My kids and I are about to do a marathon of the 3 Rush Hours. I'm excited.
Oh my God,
it's been a while.
People love me. Like
I'm
Snoopy.
Yeah,
Man, Snoopy is 6 inches taller than you. It's
good stuff.
You're a Chinese man opening. You're a black man in a Chinese restaurant on Crenshaw. It's like, what? Pick one. I love that movie so much.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to do another watch along.
Yeah, one of these days your sign off should be
Gosh, man. Oh, sorry. I love that movie so much.
Jamon Pep. What?
I like this question, Darth Chuckle. Where does it need to go in the future? I like that question.
Yeah, I mean, what are you thinking? What's next?
Well, you know what I've noticed, kind of connecting the two questions. One thing I've noticed about the community is, I don't know how to word this exactly, but like, I've almost like watched it mature. So like, I think we're far enough removed to kind of laugh about this now, but Jake and I used to be in a balanced sports. There was like waves of Star Wars, and like that was like wave 1 of Star Wars TikTok.
I was so excited when you said yes to join too.
That was like, it feels like forever ago. And back
I felt
then,
like such a failure because I couldn't join.
Me too.
Okay, it's kind of doesn't matter now. But
fizzle.
Anyway,
I did the whole hashtag a balanced force just to contribute. I was like, oh, I'm a part of this spiritually.
I'm helping.
But like back then, the content was very much. I'm not saying it was bad content, but back then, all the content was like, just like memes, and like, there's nothing wrong with memes. Memes are great. I love memes, but like that's all it was, kind of. And now, like, we see people with like everybody in this community is posting videos of these nuanced takes, and everybody's bonding over like these deep topics in Star Wars, and everybody's collaborating and having discussions. And it's like, I watched this community just like grow up. Like, I'm seeing this kid go off to college and I'm crying. It's like it's been so like, as far as the future goes, I am so excited because it's only been a year, but the community has like grown as fans so much. So like, in the future, I think if we continue on the current trajectory where we, like, us as creators continue to like try to be good influences and show people how to have positive discourse and like show people to look at things in a new perspective and to have these conversations, it's if on the current trajectory, it's going to be it's going to be awesome. I don't know how else to say it, but like in the future, yeah, if we just keep doing what we're doing, I think, and community building, it'll just get more positive. I'm really convinced, because like, I know lots of people have, like, in the hundreds now, have commented on my videos and been like, yeah, I used to be really toxic, and now because of all these creators, like all of us here, I've opened my whole worldview is opened, and like I can enjoy different Star Wars things now. Like have those conversations. So like, if we just keep doing what we're doing, it's going to get more and more positive. And then, like y'all said, the final frontier, we're going to YouTube, and it's just going to get better and better. I'm very optimistic.
Coming for you, Mike Zero.
Oh God.
I mean,
we're
A lot of
gonna
Kylo Rens are becoming Bens.
we're
And
gonna we're
that
gonna
out
roll.
there, that's the end game.
Yeah, literally. We can bust arms dealers all the live long day, but that out there, that's the end.
Yes.
So who's
absolutely.
Thanos? I don't want to draw. I don't want to. Yeah, that's not good.
I just know that I have one answer to where does it need to go in the future. In the future, the clickbaity videos and
Please.
the stuff that gets the views are the positive ones.
Yes.
That's where it needs to go.
Yeah.
We don't want Kathleen Kennedy with laser eyes being the most popular video. We want,
Oh my gosh.
oh my gosh, there's a new Star Wars coming out to be the most popular video. That's where it needs to go.
As
I
much as
just have
I
to shout out
am,
Brooke real
Oh, sorry.
quick because Too Fast, Too Furious is also a big part of my heart and something I quote regularly.
That's
And
a classic right there.
we hungry. But it's arguably, well, it was the worst movie in the franchise, but just the most
Yeah.
entertaining to me.
It was terrible.
They've
but it
dropped
was fun.
to new lows, but it's awesome. Anyways, sorry, go ahead, Megan.
I was just gonna say that as entertaining as it to open Twitter and see that Brie Larson has been fired from the apparent Star Wars role that she
Damn.
has every once or twice a week.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
she gets fired 8 times a week. Yeah.
I know she's the most
It's
fired
impressive.
person in Hollywood. But yeah, it would be nice maybe if we could if we could have more positive veered headlines. I mean, I think the Marvel community is a good example because like the comic book community had a reputation for being like really toxic, and as much as people love to hate on the MCU and talk about like how it's like for noobs or whatever, really it's mostly positive. Like the Marvel community is mostly positive, and people really do just like enjoy talking about it. It would be cool if Star Wars could like just keep on the route that it's going now to like kind of do that kind of stuff too. And I know there's going to be people out there that's like, that's blasphemy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that some people are big mad that Disney owns both Marvel and Star Wars, but I don't know. I loved Rogue One, so
It's
I
not
never saw a
George
problem.
Lucas. He's not mad.
I mean,
He has
I mean,
over 4 billion reasons not to be mad.
true. I mean, like the real. I mean, I remember I was getting into an argument with somebody because like they like superhero movies that are different than like the run of the mill Marvel movies that they see.
Yeah.
So they're big fans of movies like Logan, and they're big fans of movies like The Joker. Not to say that's a superhero movie, but like those types of movies that kind of go beyond the pale and talk about more mature, I suppose, or like they're a little more like dark and gritty. You see a lot of, I mean, not to diss, you see a lot of Zack Snyder fans in that category, a lot of Justice League Zack Snyder. I'm not going to comment on it. This isn't about that. I know our feelings. I will not comment on this.
I have a
But
whole slew of videos coming on that, by the way.
Yeah,
I finally watched it.
Justice is gray.
oh God, I remember when they announced they were doing a gray version of that movie. But anyway, I remember I was arguing with somebody, and it was an argument because he started devolving into insults, and I was like, okay, well, listen. And so he was like, I said that I wanted a community like the MCU. I wanted a Star Wars community like the MCU. I kind of said something to that extent.
Yeah.
And I wanted that for all franchises. Like I want DC to have that feeling. I want the Harry Potter franchise to have that. I want all franchises that I'm a fan of to have that feeling of you can pretty much be comfortable talking about and expressing like enjoyment in whatever aspect of it you want. And he said, you just want an MCU clone. And I was like, you know what, bro? If you want to call it that, then call me an MCU shill or whatever. But all I was saying was that I want a community where I can feel comfortable and other people around me can feel comfortable discussing these things, having fun guessing what you think is going to happen next without having to worry about, is this movie going to get made because the producers are absolutely incompetent and this person is bad and this person is Satan and this person is that. Like we get a lot of that in the DC area right now, and I don't know if they'll ever get their shit figured out. I hope that they do, but we kind of got that for a little bit in Star Wars. I remember when Solo was getting ready to come out and the whole like, oh, they fired Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and they were like, this is the second movie that Kathleen Kennedy has botched, and it was starting to become really bad around like 2018, and so I was just like,
It's
I just
still
want.
going.
It is still going. It finally started burning out a little, but it's still there. The smoldering is still there. But I remember sitting there and I was just like, bro, I just want to go on Reddit and say, yo, that part was cool. Without
Right.
somebody coming out of nowhere and being like, hey, well, can I be a devil's advocate? It's like, bro, I don't want you to. I just want you to say, I don't think so, but I mean, I respect that. It's like, bro, leave me alone. Like, that's all I want, bro. I don't want a clone of the MCU. I just want that feeling of watching an MCU movie in a Star Wars movie.
Well,
You
where,
know?
where I can say I would want to clone, and it's funny because you guys are saying these awesome and like lofty go. I just want people to read the goddamn article.
Yeah.
That's all.
Let's
Read
start
syllabus.
small.
It's such a low bar.
Why did you say this? It's on the syllabus.
But,
Open the book first.
but
Yeah.
I just think that what you're saying is one thing that the MCU has that really, really going for it is people who are willing to accept change. Hela is a mixture of 3 different characters. It's okay. Moving on, and the MCU is a great jumping on point for anyone. And I know that Marvel is more successful than they've ever been, and comic books and this content is more popular than it's ever been because of this stuff, because of having a great entry point, and people are like, oh, I want to find out more, and then they start buying comics rather than the comic people who are like, this is superior and you guys are all beneath me and you don't deserve
Right.
the content. And you're like, come
Where's
on,
the logic
man.
in trying to keep people from buying the things that you like, which help them make more things that you like?
It's
Like,
insane.
why do you try to trash the thing you say you love?
You could do a study piece on that, bro. Write an essay on it.
Relationship.
You
I mean,
can't
for all the
get-
problems of capitalism, there are some good benefits to it. Like, hey, if we keep liking it, they'll make more of it.
Go figure.
and you don't get awesome, unique stories like Logan without having this main line thing that people can jump into, because you can't go. I mean, that's exactly what happened to DC.
Yeah.
I know this isn't DC, but you can't start out with the Dark Knight Returns if you haven't established any of the characters. You know what I mean? You gotta.
I mean, the fact that so many of these obscure characters from comic books have huge roles, are getting their own series, like, it's just, I mean, Echo from Daredevil is going to have her own series.
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
that would never happen if we didn't have all of the infrastructure of the MCU so far. And I think that
Mhm.
people get on me all the time, for being a Disney shill or whatever, and tell me that I don't like gritty stuff. And I'm like, okay, look, one
They
of my
haven't watched
favorite
your stuff.
one
then.
of my favorite superhero movies is James Gunn's Super. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's
Yeah,
I
it's
love
not-
it.
It's a good
Make the
one.
heart.
I enjoy it.
I love it. It's about as gritty as a movie could possibly be.
Right. Yeah, vulgar.
yeah.
raunchy,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
But people don't care. And if I could have discussions about the movie Super like I can have with people about the MCU, only because more people had seen it and wanted to talk about it, I would love that. I would love to talk about the obscure, weird movies but just a lot of people haven't seen. And I try to recommend stuff, but like, that's all I feel like I mean, and I feel like, Mace, you were talking about this too, where when we say create a community that's like what the MCU likes, it's that. It's just
Yeah.
people who are just enthusiastic about everything.
Right. It
Not a
doesn't mean
specific.
Yeah, right. It doesn't mean like we all agree with everything. It doesn't mean that we all have the exact same views on stuff. It just means that you feel comfortable discussing the stuff in there. And what's
Yeah.
wrong with that? It doesn't mean that we can't have any disagreements or debates over that kind of stuff. We can say, oh, I don't really see it that way. I like it like this. And they're like, oh, well, I don't agree with that. Like that, you can still do that without resorting to I hope you die. It's like, bro, what?
Yeah.
Like, no.
It's because inside all of us lies the core tenet of being a fan, which
Mhm.
is being a fan.
Yeah.
Actually liking things. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah, for calling the MCU though run of the mill. I mean, it used to be the run of the mill was like Daredevil and Elektra, which
X-Men.
I don't even think were terrible movies, but compared to the MCU, yeah.
Mhm.
When the
First
X-Men came
Fantastic
out,
Four underrated. Just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. I mean, I even like the second one, okay, except for the villain, obviously the Cloud, whatever. That's not how you do Galactus. But the fact that the MCU has built this huge infrastructure, now they can tell these stories with all these unknown characters, and people eat it up. So it's giving all kinds of people that don't just look like, you know, Superman or Steve Rogers a chance to be in the spotlight as heroes. And I think that's great. And Star Wars is trying to do the same thing, where they're putting stories across the entire vast timeline of what's out there for Star Wars, and people are starting, you know, they're griping about it, but the rest of us are like, hey, look at all the new fans that are coming in. This is how you sustain a franchise for the long haul. You're going to have some stories that not everybody loves. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But enough people will love them that they can continue to make more, and then you can just pick the things you like. It costs $0, you know, not to be a jerk about it.
And you know, it's one of the reasons why I never understand the whole like I don't like this because it's a virtue signal argument, like on any level, like especially in the Star Wars community. Like when they announced that this character is non-binary, like they did. I remember the whole Star Wars Squadrons thing, where a character, an X-wing pilot, was like, "Oh, this is a non-binary. Their pronouns are they them," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Like this is, I think, the first non-binary Star Wars character in canon. I could be wrong. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. And the comment section was a fucking minefield. This is a virtue signal. I was like, bro, for the record, every single thing that's announced on every single level is a virtue signal. So your argument is redundant. Like there's really nothing new. Like, of course it's a virtue signal, but it doesn't make the importance of that character any less important to somebody who might identify with that. That was always my issue with that kind of stuff. Oh, I don't like that they have a black Superman because
It's forced diversity.
It's a forced diversity, or it's a meaningless virtue signal, or it's something like that. It's like, bro, of course it is. They're corporations. They do this. It's like, I get it. Like, it's always going to happen. But my daughter thinks that looks cool, and my daughter's opinion on that means a lot to me, and I'm glad that she's happy and she feels like she has a chance to be like that one day. So whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? So I never understood the whole dying on that hill.
It's almost
it
like
Squadrons?
those people exist or something.
Right?
Right?
I'm saying.
Crazy.
And everybody says, well, race and gender shouldn't matter. And I'm like, well, then stop bitching
Then
about
why
it.
are you
Yeah,
talking
stop
about it?
fucking talking. Sorry for the language. I'm sorry.
Was it
Uh,
Squadrons or was
excuse
it
me,
the
the
High Republic
language.
Tarek?
It was.
it's-
I think
no,
it was.
it's the
It was
pilot
the-
on Last Shot.
It was Squadron. Yeah, last
Oh,
shot.
that shot.
And they were in the Star Wars
That's
Squadrons
first.
campaign as well. And they were like, their pronouns are they, them. And people in the comment section was like, yep, I'm not a Star Wars fan anymore. And I was like, bro, get the fuck
Good.
out of this. I was like, go
Goodbye.
away. Go away, bro.
Seriously.
Go away.
Keep
I don't,
yourself.
Eating them out.
no energy to even respond to that anymore, bro. Like,
When the
It's
first
literally-
person that to exist in that in the world is different is forced upon you.
Exactly. It's literally
Mm-hmm.
only ever people who have all the representation in the world that are like, well, why do you need representation? Why do you need all of it? Like,
Yeah.
And those are the guys that I look at and say, you need to get out more, because
Yeah.
the world
Cut
doesn't
some
just look like
grass,
us,
bro.
guys.
yeah.
It's kind of like the person that eats meat all the time and then like their mother gives them a string bean and they're like, this is forced vegetation.
Yeah. Like, seriously.
Like Frigga, eat a salad.
Yeah. But it's
is
like,
it a salad or is it Ragnarok though?
That's true. That's exactly what that
Nice
is.
reference.
Eat Ragnarok.
I understood that reference.
Oh man. Oh, you guys are the best. All right, I gotta ask for you guys. I'll kind of plop these three together because I gotta know what's next for you. Like, what do you guys have planned for the future? But also, if you could go back to 1 year ago, but to tell yourself something about all this, what would that be? And I also get people asking, how do I start to make content? Which is super weird because I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Why are you asking me? But but yeah, it just makes me think of an episode of How I Met Your Mother when like Marshall is looking at his dad because his dad is driving through the night and he's like, man, he knows everything and he just sees everything. And the dad's like, I can't see where I'm going at all. Yeah, that's what it feels like. But yeah, what do you guys think? This one I'm going to Jacob first.
So this is what would you tell yourself a year ago, or what are we doing next? Sorry, are we doing 2 questions?
All three. What's next? If you could tell yourself something a year ago, and any advice for the up and comers.
So I'm obviously going to still do Marvel and Star Wars content as I get through new things. I try to review them. I've noticed some of the stuff that I did last year that was really popular gets no traction this year, and I don't know if it's because my audience has changed or maybe it's not as good as I thought it was. And so there are things that I'm like, I'm just not going to do that one anymore. I'm learning, I'm experimenting all the time. I think it's important. But if you're going to start making content, to me, the key is you got to like the stuff that you're doing. Don't do stuff just because you think people will like it. Because if you don't like it, nobody's going to buy it. Nobody cares.
Yep.
And if 10 people watch it and you like it, that's good enough. That's what I've decided on a lot of my content. So I think also if I could go back and tell myself something about this, I would say probably what I'm doing now that is better. I would say don't pick as many negative comments to reply to. Pick a few examples and make examples out of them, and then move on and ignore the rest of them. Because that's what serves my main purpose, is to try to put them on blast so that people see this is not okay. I don't expect that I'm going to win all those people over. That's not. I usually block them anyway because they continue on. But that helps me to have much more positive content, but still call out the toxicity. So there's a balance that I feel like I've learned that I needed to learn a year ago.
Awesome. I love it. How about you, Josh?
Well, if I could go back and talk to me a year ago, I mean, I'd probably just tell them to keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I had that mentality when I first started posting, just enjoy what you're doing. Don't worry about what video's doing well or what's not doing well, or don't stress out about it too much. Do you enjoy it? That should be the end of the story. If you enjoy talking about Star Wars, even if they're not doing great from a view standpoint, or that's fine. Like, as long as you keep enjoying it, and then you can always look around and look at how other people do stuff, not to copy what they do, but like look at their strategies. When do they post? That kind of stuff. Just look into that, all that kind of stuff. But just know that a big part of it is being persistent, because you never know. One day you're going to wake up and you're going to decide to do a pirate costume. No, but one day you're going to, but no, seriously, one day you're going to wake up and post one video that one day just is decided upon to catch fire across the For You page. And then that can set you in an entirely different realm of content creation. So what you do is you keep staying persistent. If you see that these videos, whatever, like they're not doing great, are you still having fun? Yeah, then keep doing it. One day it will catch fire, and you'll continue to gain that following, and they'll want to be interested in what you can do going forward. What would I say to us? Oh, that was kind of like both, like what I would tell myself a year ago, and am I going to Star Wars Celebration? I plan on it. I don't know if that was part of the thing, but I do. I'm hoping I can. Like I'm trying to. I want to see you guys in person. I miss you guys. Like I want to hug you. When the pandemic is down, of course. Yeah.
I'm getting fully vaxxed tomorrow, so I should be.
Congratulations!
Congrats.
Yeah, Try not to just like Bruce Willis.
Hey man.
I guess I'll insert myself. What's next for me? Well, for Diet in the Force, we're fast approaching our trivia tournament final. Everyone has qualified who has participated. We have all of our contestants. We are getting set to have Master Allen on that show. It's going to be a huge thing. We're still kind of going over the details of how it's going to go down. We might do teams or not in the earlier rounds. There needs to be a calling for sure, because there's a lot of contestants, but we are doing that. And then of course, I keep on saying of course as if people know what I'm about to say. And I don't blame Hannah anymore for telling me to stop saying of course. But I am going to be pressing the NOS on evergreen content for Star Wars. There's a lot I have to say about certain things. The Jedi Council, balance in the Force, the dark side, the light side, Mace Windu using inner darkness, not the dark side. Just all kinds of things that need to be dispelled that I have videos for on TikTok, but I need to do full-fledged ones, fully produced for YouTube, so that's coming. And also, like, I don't know if any of you followed my Echoes of the Past audio drama that takes place after The Rise of Skywalker, but it has gone on hiatus. But that's only because I just recently tapped an artist. And I think they might be in the chat now, but Saint Pat is doing the art for Echoes of the Past, so Chapter 3 will be in production after the art gets done. We're getting a bunch of scenes, some chapter covers, and so they just announced, or Star Wars just announced, their own audio drama, so someone's watching me and they're like, yo, let's do this stuff. But yeah, and the end game for that is getting it officially produced and getting it officially canon, that story, hopefully. Maybe never, I don't know, we'll see. What would I say to myself a year from now, or a year ago? Nothing. Simply because if there's any shift in the circumstances that led to me meeting anyone here, I wouldn't risk it.
The TVA would never let that happen.
Yeah.
I'm not depending on the TVA for nothing.
Yeah.
I trust in the Force. And the Force led me to Chaco, led me to my dyad, led me to Shaylee, led me to Megan, Jakev, and Josh, and led me to this very moment. Because all is as the Force wills it.
You are one with the Force, and the Force is with you.
Well done.
And
we are going to Celebration.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
We're gonna have a ramen party. All of this money, I'm volunteering it for Chaco to go to the ramen party.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, sorry, I did that, Brandon.
Stoobs Jr.
Yeah, Remy.
Hey,
Come
got-
over, say goodnight.
we got
Stoobs the Younger.
little Gambit.
good night, Remy.
Wow.
Hey, buddy.
I didn't know we were getting a celebrity appearance in this
Right?
podcast.
All right, you gotta go, bud. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh my God.
Adorable.
Found something you haven't.
Now he's taking my hat and just running for it. So, oh,
I'm
He's
sorry.
gold.
Have we unlocked Hat Stoops? Because
this kid. Oh, okay. All right. Bye. He says, "Mama, I have to go." He's on a tight schedule, you guys. He can't,
Yeah.
he can't
He's
stay
busy.
for long.
He just wanted to stop by real quick. He had to run
Yeah.
some errands. Yeah.
You know, normally he requires a booking fee, so this was a very special
Very
occasion.
special.
Whoa.
Good for him.
and I mean, while we're on you, how about?
Yeah,
that?
okay. Yeah, so what's next? I mean, Straw Hat and I are really focusing on the podcast, which has been going great. I'm also going to be focusing, I'm going to move into YouTube maybe a bit. I mean, apparently it's a trend. Apparently we're all doing it. So if I'm nothing, if not a bandwagoner, but I will join. Yeah, I'm really just trying to diversify, figure out content on different platforms, because as much as I love TikTok and the TikTok community, it has its ups and its downs. So I'm trying to figure out like Instagram and building presence other places and different longer, shorter form content, different formats. I'm having a really good time. I'm very new to content creation relatively. I mean, everything that I've done on TikTok is like my entire growth. But yeah, I love it, and I want to keep at it and try to get better at it all the time.
You're natural.
Thank you. It's just really, honestly, I've been overly passionate about everything my entire life. So having an outlet to be excessively passionate about this stuff it's been really good.
Yeah.
If I had to give myself any advice, the only advice I would give myself is just take a breath before you respond to something, or even like try to take a breath before you fully try and process something, because people will say horrible things to you. And if I saw them in person, like if I interact with them in person, I probably would not respect them at all. Like the people who write horrible stuff to you, those kinds of people that take the time and the energy to send you hate on the internet, they're not happy people. And I don't need to waste my time on people like that. And I think I allowed myself to get swept up and think about stuff like that too much. And I would have, maybe allowed myself to not read the comments from an earlier time. Sometimes I don't read my comments, and I don't feel guilty about that, because
I have to remember that some of these people are 15 and some of these people are 35.
Yeah.
I need to try to gauge how I respond to which one, because the
Exactly.
person, and this is no shade, I get griped at all the time. Oh, you don't like young people. No, I have 5 of them in my house. I love them. And I think they're some of the smartest people I know. So it's not about your age, it's about your life experience. And I can't come down as hard, I think, on a 15-year-old for most things.
Yeah.
But I've been guilty of that, so yeah, I get
Man,
it.
Oh, yeah.
That sounded strangely like I have a black friend. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow, I wasn't trying to give
By the
off
way-
that energy. I like Ahsoka.
I'm just kidding.
And of course,
I'm not a
Megan.
misogynist. Ahsoka is my.
I'm not an ageist. I have children.
I'm triggered.
Megan saying "take a breath" is. I mean, I'm like, not me picturing
breath is
Drew
good.
Barrymore in Ever
Just-
After.
I mean, literally, it's ironic coming from me, because I can be a bit reactionary, but yeah, I would, yeah. And that's, I mean, general advice to anybody trying to make content is just to remember that a lot of people say like, oh, like, getting a platform, whatever, like that's the goal, that's the dream. And it's like, yeah, it's supposed to be a dream because it's supposed to be fun. And if it's not fun, then take a break, take a beat, figure out what you need to get back to that. Because just like Mace was saying, like, you never know what people are going to want to see from you, what people are going to love, what's going to go. You might be like Darth Chaco and have your first video ever get 300,000 views. You might be like JKev and have to make 3 accounts. But if it's something that's really important to you, it's worth trying. And it's just talk about things that you care about. Talk about things that you're passionate about, because ultimately this should be something for you. And getting a platform is cool. But I mean, I know from my personal experience and from a lot of people that I've talked to, getting a medium-sized, large platform, it's not going to change your life probably that drastically. Like, you'll find a community. It's not like you're going to be like a YouTuber in a content house making millions of dollars and buying Lamborghinis,
Hey, I'm
Probably.
Y'all aren't
manifesting
buying
that one day.
Lamborghinis TikTok?
Hey, I'm manifesting that for all of y'all one day.
Maybe one day.
One day we will
Thank
be
you.
at that level. I'm speaking
Maybe
that
one
into
day.
existence.
Well, we'll all go in on a trailer house together.
But yeah, like approach it from the mindset of this is something that you do because you love it, and maybe a lot of success will follow, but maybe it won't. But really, it should be for you, and that's I think the way that most people who are successful get started.
I'll add on to that because I don't think I answered this question. The one thing that I would say to someone that's aspiring to be a content creator is to just start. The biggest hurdle and the biggest obstacle for anyone is to just start, and this is something that even Brandon to this day has trouble with. When you talk about like voice overlap and perspective, lots of people will not start because they think that niche or that corner of the room has already been filled. But like, I'll give you an example in terms of lore. If Shaylee does a Balance in the Force video, I do one, and Chaco does one, all 3 videos are going to be different. So it doesn't matter if you're worried about overlap, if you're worried about covering the same thing other people are covering, it's your voice that's unique, right? And it's your voice that the world does not have currently. Like your voice, the world's at 0. Once you make that video, it's at 1, right? And so,
Absolutely.
so if you're like on the fence at all about starting, just start. Talk, choose a subject that you're passionate about, like Balance in the Force. Make that video. See where,
And maybe the
where it
subject will
leads.
change several times.
Yes,
It does for a lot of
absolutely.
people. You might not keep
Yeah.
doing that. Talk about what
Absolutely.
matters to you in the moment. And that's the other thing. I know Shaylee, you used to make a lot of Star Wars content. It wasn't like doing for you what you needed it to do. So you said, I'm going to shift gears, make something else, and you go back to it when you want. But I mean, we could all take a lesson out of your book there.
I just decided to just like the best. Somebody told me this phrase. I heard it on the internet. You probably hear it all the time, and it changed my life. And it's just chase your dopamine. Just chase your dopamine. And like if that's not like, and right now it's not like it may not be this, but that's okay. Like they're like, it's not the end of the world if you don't stick to your very strict niche. You know what I mean? Like your niche can be you. Your niche can be nerd stuff, and like J Soups does a great job of that too. You have like a good variety in your content, but you still have a niche. Like I think some people are like, I have to niche down to a pinpoint and stick in it because that's what you hear all the time on TikTok. Niche, and like just chase your dopamine and it'll pay off. That's like one of my things. Yeah.
So stop making fun of my simpage for Satil Sean.
Wait, people are making fun of that? Blasphemy? Excuse me?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. I don't know what their situation is, but they got to get out of it.
Fucking Revan stands, man. Let me stop. I tell you, man. Never ending battle. I agree though, yeah. There are some niches where people like they choose like a really smart niche or they choose a niche that can be really pinpointed, but at the same time it can also be like really broad. Like if you do like hidden movie details, you could do that until the end of time. Yeah. If you do like it's like Straw Hat Goofy picked like the best niche for what he's good at, because like he can do that for the rest of like till the end of the. I literally just watch movies. It's like, bro, get your coins, bro. Like, congratulations.
And
like,
some of the, how does he find some of that stuff? Like literally pointing out the guy in the Spider-Man trailer that was like the same guy from like the
no way.
Like what? Where?
I talked to him once and I was like,
frame by frame.
I literally talked to him one time. I was like, bro, I legitimately don't know how you see a lot of this shit, because I just said, haha, good movie. Like, bro, I think the overall theme was love. And then he's like, so in frame 32, you can see 7, which is typically, it's like, bro.
Oh man, like the first time I had him on was to talk about Spider-Verse. And it was him, Zeffy, and Lex from Wednesday Pool, and then
good lineup.
And we were just but like I love Spider-Man, and we're going with all the details and stuff. And then when I had Jay Stoops, Rayburn, and him on for WandaVision, that conversation blew my mind. Half of it was just me sitting there like this, just like, oh, this is awesome. Great.
That was so much fun.
Cool.
I joined
this conversation.
I joined one of his TikTok lives because he was ranting about the newest Mortal Kombat movie, and I was like, I just want to hear him talk. So I was like, hey, bro, I'm just testing out my TikTok live. Like, how you doing? He was like, bro, I'm ranting about Mortal Kombat. Do you have 45 minutes? I was like, bro, lay it on me, fam. I'm ready. And my man gave me the most. I was like, he wrote an essay to me. I was like, bro, this is amazing.
I love how much he hates that movie. Like, he hates it so much.
It's beautiful, bro. Like,
he's like offended by it.
I saw the fire in his eyes. I was like, oh, he's legitimately mad. Like, I was like, holy God. He was like, why would they do that, Josh? I was like, I don't know, man. But yeah. What were we talking
and then
about?
real quick, Shaylee, I don't recall if you said what you would tell yourself a year ago.
Oh yeah, I haven't really got. I'll go now. If I could say something to myself a year ago, it would be use the block button. Just use the. It's there for a reason.
Amen.
It's there for a reason. Don't be afraid to use it. It is a good thing. Like, and also kind of like Megan said, but like don't put your energy into people who don't deserve it, or like social media. I love it. We're all here. We're having a good time. We're making content. But really, it's fake. It's not real. Like, these people, you can just kick them out of your little world, and that's it. So, like, you don't have to give them your energy. But also just to do what you love.
I have an amendment to make. I wouldn't go a year back to tell myself something. I would go specifically to Stibbs, Chaco, Dyad, Light of the Jedi, I would tell myself, test the freaking audio.
Good advice to give anybody.
Yeah.
Oh my
Test the
God.
audio.
Yeah.
Life-saving.
That's it.
Don't even explicitly tell them what's going to go wrong. Just be like, I just need you to look at the audio. Just do it for me. Who are you? Are you me from the future? Do me a favor
Trust
and
me.
just look at the fucking audio, okay? It's like, just leave. It's like,
And I am infinitely in Megan's debt for being like such a trooper. And I was like, we need to record like tomorrow. And she's like, oh, we could do it. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's a saint.
That episode was so funny because literally I remember it happening, and then I remember you texted me and I was like, wait, did I was so worried that I messed it up somehow. I was like, was I supposed to push a button or something? But
you were muted the whole time. Like, no.
Yeah.
Lesson learned. You'll never do that again.
yeah.
That happened to me. I did a YouTube reaction and I found out that like when I was finished, I was like, all right, guys, I'll catch you later. This is Mason Windu out. Have a good one. And I clicked the red button and it said now recording. And I was like, no, are you kidding me?
The greatest
Bro.
teacher failure is.
It was like 11:30
that
at
quote.
night. My mom was like, shut up. I was like, I didn't record. Are you kidding me?
I did that for one of the Mandalorian episodes too. Yeah.
Oh no, man. An episode? No.
Mhm.
No,
40
that happened to me very recently in Bad Batch.
I'm so
So-
sorry.
Close to home.
Well, that's why I turned live. Because when we're live, I remember one of the lives we did like 2 weeks ago. They were like, "We can't hear Chaco," and I was like, and then I fixed it. But now that we go live, like we have eyes on all of the sound and
It
everything.
helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I want to, thank everyone. Just real quick for me, if I could go back a year, I would say, I don't even know. Like, it's okay for your stuff to suck. That's probably the best thing. I know it. You don't want to make this because it looks bad. It's going to look bad. It's going to look bad for a long time. I still think it looks bad largely, but it looks a lot better than it did before. And you don't make that progress if you don't, if you don't do the thing. And so for anyone new starting out, just go. B, done is better than perfect. And
Right.
C, enjoy the grind. If you don't enjoy the grind, like if you're doing it for the end goal and you don't like what you are doing to get there, then you can't make it. That's not possible.
I've reassessed several times. Like I've had to stop myself and talk to myself and be like, all right, Josh, are you posting these things because you enjoy it? Or are you posting these things because you're trying to get a video that gets a certain amount of views? Are you not enjoying it? Put that in your drafts. Don't yeah. All right. I have
It's
a
so
few-
funny because you specifically, Josh, like your content, I always feel like is like the epitome of that. Like it's just like you always seem like you're having the best
Yeah.
time, and you're just making the content that specifically you want, and it just speaks to people because of that. Like I mean, all your
Your
random like,
skits are
Star Wars
amazing.
sportscaster. I don't even watch sports, and that shit cracks me up.
well, and I never actually answered this question, what I plan on doing in the future. I really want to I don't want to stop anything that I'm currently doing, but I do want to streamline it a little bit more. Like I do, like skits, I personally believe to be my most enjoyable content. Like I have
You're
I have a lot of fun doing like not even just like the Jedi Escape series that I for no reason that went off. That was so much fun. But like I like general like alternate like scenes and like a Star Wars movie, like what happened here, like the Millennium Falcon one where Han Solo's telling him about, you've never heard of the Millennium Falcon, and Obi-Wan's like, I have been on Tatooine for 20 fucking years. How the fuck am I supposed to know how fast the Millennium Falcon is? And it's
Oh my
just
god,
like,
I love that one so much.
I like doing stuff like that, and I think in the future I'm gonna put. I think the production, the quality is like a lot better too. Like sometimes I just throw something on there that's funny to me or enjoyable to me. Other times I'm like, all right, I'm gonna spend like an hour putting this one together, and if it does well, that's even better. Cherry on top. If not, I'm glad that whoever gets to see it enjoys it as much as I do. So it's one of those things. So I do plan on doing a little more of that in the future. That's a lot of fun.
And any skills that you learn while doing this stuff, it actually does pay off in your regular life. It pays off going
Yes.
forward. I already talked about like doing interviews was like a lot easier, getting used to talking to people through like mediums like this, and like
See, I did that all backwards. I had a whole bunch of life experience, and then I brought it to TikTok. Like,
Hey, man.
I've hosted like panels and done keynote speeches and stuff like that, and it's like that was so hard. I wish I'd had this to practice. So I totally agree. This is great practice.
yeah. Oh, one last thing I would tell myself is I would leave myself a reminder that's like on January 9th, get a pirate outfit.
Oh, you traitor.
11:30.
Oh my God.
The TVA is gonna delete all of us, man. Come on.
That's actually a good idea. I'd probably go back to like around early February when it was still like going nuts for me, and I'd be like, Josh, I know you just got your pirate shit in the mail. Milk the shit out of this for another. Tell them it ain't arrived yet, and just keep it. Just like, oh my God, oh my God.
Ordered it from
So
Wish.
fun.
Because like the moment I put it on and like showed it off, they were like, "Meow." I was like, "Yep, here it is." All right.
Well, the
guys.
moment you told them, the moment you showed them it was from Amazon, they were like 2 days.
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah, I had dudes trying to report. I'm glad they didn't take it down because, full disclosure, I would have lost a lot of money if I lost that video. But they were like, so you haven't done it yet? And I was like, yeah, I just ordered it today. Well, that's not what you said in the video. I was like, I didn't say anything in the video. I told you I ordered it. What do you want from me? And they're like, and I had people like unfollowed because you're a liar. I'm just like, dude,
Wow.
y'all be easy,
That's
okay?
extra, yeah.
Yeah, I had people like send me Instagram private messages where they're like, "So you're just not gonna post it, huh?" And I'm like, "Bro, please don't
Wow.
dox me. Please don't dox me." Like it's like,
I'm so sorry.
and it was kind of scary, but it was fun too. So
I got another one of my favorite creators here, the SK Base on YouTube. This is AJ Jedi _Star Killer. But yeah, he says it doesn't have to be perfect.
Oh,
Sometimes
hi,
you just
Star
got to
Killer.
get it done. Yeah, and thank you for another super sticker, Ace Bronx. Definitely appreciate it. Appreciate all of you guys for being willing to come out and spend time. This has been an awesome panel. I get like giddy when I
Happy
get to, like,
anniversary.
joke with you guys.
yay!
Let's let's go around one last time. Let everyone know where they can find you and all of your amazing content. And if you have any closing thoughts, we'll go to Josh first.
Well, you guys, as always, I made it a little simpler. You guys can find me pretty much on any major social media at Mace Windu. It's Mace Windu, but there's an "ah" in the middle. It's a running joke. My friend always calls Mace Windu Mesa Windu. Don't know why. made it my username, and it kind of stuck. You can find me there on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, not Snapchat, but you can find me pretty much at all three of the major ones. Any closing thoughts? You guys are amazing. I've found reasons to absolutely not only like your content, but like you as people on several occasions. You guys have always stuck up for me, and I've always tried my best to stick up for all of your interests as well. I hope I've done a good job supporting all of you too, because I legitimately wish the best from a content perspective and from a life perspective to all of you. I've never made friends on this level over online like ever. Like
Yeah.
I've never had
Same.
I've never had this much of a rapport with somebody. I've never actually been able to shake their hands like or give them a hug. So this is a very beautiful moment for me. It's changed me as a person. I've grown a lot since I started on TikTok. I know that's corny to say. Like you don't tell somebody like ever since I downloaded the app known as TikTok. It's like people go okay, whatever. But it's like no, seriously. I've met some of the most fantastic people that love the things that I do. And I've learned so much from them. I've learned to look at things differently, and I think I've become a better person because of it. So thank you, Darth Chaco, for having me, and thank you guys for spending time with me and everybody, and I love you. So
I mean, we're the Grey Jedi Defense Force, of course.
hey, man, we're the TVA for Grey Jedi. You know that trend where it's like doo, 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 doo. It's like some George Lucas writing the Great Jedi are canon, and it's like a dark silhouette of a TVA behind like you better undo that right now. It's like this isn't right.
It's a
You
Nexus
stand
event.
trial for your crimes.
Welcome to the Time Variation Authority.
By the way, Shaylee, you've done the best voice of that. You're a
It
natural
was
at
so
that.
Oh, you're Miss
hard.
Minutes.
You already have the
So
twang
hard. I
going
have a
for
different
you.
type of Southern accent than
Oh,
she
that's
has, so
true.
it was like so hard.
Well, yours is
Hers is-
natural. She's not a Southern belle.
'Cause Sarah's
from what I know.
strong.
That's not natural for that kind.
Yeah.
Because hers is more like it feels like Southern Belle type.
Yeah,
thing, where
mine's
it's like-
Tennessee twang, so it's not
It's
as nice sounding.
It's wonderful.
you sound amazing. I was gonna say.
Thank you.
Megan.
I'm Jay Stoobs. I'm not quite as uniform everywhere because there's a guy on Instagram and Twitter whose handle, I guess, has been Jay Stoobs for his whole life, and
Oh, wow.
he's got like 200 followers on Instagram. Good for him.
Amen.
I mean, it's like that's like how many I have on my private account. Like it's just that's his private account. So it is. I don't have my handles uniform everywhere. But if you type Jay Stoobs, you'll see me. You might see him too. Maybe say hey, but shoot him a follow. Let's plug this guy. He's probably got a cool life. I don't know.
The lesser Stoobs. Got it.
He's probably very cool. I can feel the Jay Stoobs
He's the variant.
solidarity.
I was expecting Megan. Why are you here?
I do wonder if he's gotten any random weird followers and he's like, why did this person follow me? And this does not look like Megan's account. But
Love
yeah,
your content.
but yeah, it's like on Twitter, I'm like the Jay Stoobs. Like if you type Jay Stoobs, I'll probably come up. But yeah, what was the other question? I don't remember.
Oh, just any final thoughts?
Oh, yeah, I mean, basically the same. I'm very much an introvert, and I've never made as fast of connections with people like in real life or online than I have since joining TikTok, and it's because truly the other creators, all of you guys, and so many other people on TikTok are just truly wonderful people. Like absolutely magnificently wonderful people. For all of the terrible negative comments that I get that make me doubt my faith in humanity, like all of my fellow creators like you reinforce it tenfold. So it's amazing. It's super cool. I hope we get to like actually hang out someday. Because I never expected this in a million years. But if you'd asked me at the beginning of the pandemic, never would have expected something like this to come out of it. But I'm super, super grateful. And Star Wars is awesome.
I agree.
We are grateful to have you. I think it was like, I mean, your episode is like, oh, she does really good with movies, and I've seen her talk about nerd stuff. But I don't know. I feel it. I think she'd be awesome to have on. And yeah, it's been amazing.
It was kismet. I'm so glad.
Yes. And Shaylee?
Closing thoughts. First of all, thank you for bearing with my technical difficulties, everybody. I'm so sorry. F in the chat for my laptop. It is no longer with us. But on a more serious note, final thoughts. Thank you all for being like creators and people in chat and audience and everybody, community. Thank you all for being so supportive of me and each other. And I am looking forward to continuing to do things together and to interact with you all and us to grow and take over the Star Wars community for the positive. Take down some people, not naming anybody in particular, but you know who I'm thinking of.
Yes.
Yeah, this is just it's been one of the best experiences I've ever had is making content. So I genuinely can't thank everybody enough, and thank you for having me on the podcast. It's always the highlight of my week. And I look forward to future projects together. To find me, it's Shaylo Wren everywhere. Shaylo_Wren on TikTok and Twitch and Twitter. And then, unfortunately, it's Shaylo.Wren on Instagram. I was so close to having it all uniform. But we missed it by one. And then, hopefully soon, if I could get my PC built this week, we're going to YouTube soon. So
Ooh.
follow that too, because hopefully it's been like a 4-month process building this PC, but hopefully we're in the home stretch last week. So
Awesome.
then it'll be YouTube.
Now you have more motivation since your poor laptop.
Yeah, now I don't have a computer, so I have to get it done.
It's the best feeling ever when you've put it together and you turn it on for the first time.
Oh my god, it's been a nightmare. Like literally, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, from experience, I busted my ass putting together this one because I didn't look at the directions because I'm a hardhead. So it took me about 5 hours to put that thing together because
Oh my god.
put pieces in the wrong area. Then I had to take it all apart, the motherboard, and then
I've had
finally.
to order like 3 new parts because I can't figure out what's not working.
Yep.
It's been a nightmare.
And when I finally,
Did you watch How to Build a Computer by The Verge?
no.
Oh, sorry.
Honestly, yeah, I think my
Deep
computer
cut.
would have exploded if I tried using that one. But I will say, Shaylee, that the moment I pressed the button and I closed my eyes and like braced myself for anything to break, when it turned on and my motherboard showed up on the screen, I was just like, oh. And now it's all upgrades from here, baby. So now it's like, hey man,
Please manifest it, everybody.
Yep.
Pray to the PC gods
yeah.
that it works.
Consoles are nice and everything, but you know, if you ever get the money, a PC can be very rewarding. So
Yeah, I want to make YouTube videos so bad. So
Save her, RN Jesus.
Amen.
No, if you guys aren't doing it already, please follow Shaylee on Twitch. She does her Twitch streams
She's
are the best.
outstanding.
it's a lot of
And
fun.
also, Josh, what the hell?
Man's paying himself for his appearance.
Yeah, it's just take
Switching
it.
cameras again.
I appreciate all of you guys. It's just the best. How about you, Pep?
Underscore element 7 underscore on TikTok. Actually, you know what? You can go to 7theelement.net. Number 7 th element.net. All my socials are there. That might be easier because I too do not have a uniform presence across social media. Because the number 7 and the word element are quite popular words.
Hey man,
But luckily, Choco on Twitter is Darth Choco 7. Dyad moment. I don't know. Just thought I'd put that out.
yep.
Fake.
Which, by the way, my stuff was Darth Chocolate everywhere except on TikTok, and then TikTok is what took off, and I'm like,
Guess I'm using it. All right, we're shifting everything over. Yeah.
But sorry, I can keep going.
Well, just closing thoughts. Thank you, everyone here and everyone in the community. I love each and every one of you, and love to collab with each and every one of you. And every night I go into the servers and talk to everyone in the community, or just exchange messages with people. It's the highlight of the day, and a lot has been born. A lot of positive has been born out of meeting people through this clock app. And as much as I hate the algorithm, I'm going to say thank you to TikTok. But again, I love everyone in the chat, in our communities, everyone here on the panel. Y'all are awesome. And here is to 10 more years of bringing positive Star Wars
I'll take it, bro.
to light, and 10 more years to working together to bring that, or to make that happen. So
For light and life.
we are all the Republic.
And Jacob?
So J. Kevin Parker, just about everywhere. It was that on YouTube, and then I was dumb and decided to delete that channel, and I didn't know I couldn't get that handle back. So nobody can have it now, at least. So that's why I have a different handle there. But even on like my link tree is J. Kevin Parker, and the story behind that is years ago I've done social media consulting and website design and things like that for a while. So I decided, hey, I'm going to get this handle everywhere. I tried Kevin Parker back in the day because I was an early enough internet adopter that all the names weren't taken back then. But kevinparker.com at the time went to a Teletubbies website, and I said, hell no. So I put my first initial, and it's been that ever since, and that's been unique enough. So there you go. No, I don't play guitar in that band from Australia, but there's that guy. So that's my handle. just about everywhere. My closing thoughts would be, remember, and this goes for everybody that's a content creator, everybody that thinks that they want to be a content creator, or anyone who just interacts in comments, whatever it is, you don't owe anybody anything. You can set boundaries, and when people start to attack you, you shouldn't take it personally. I know I sometimes have a hard time with that, believe it or not. I know I put on this facade of, actually, most of the time it doesn't bother me, but it bothers me that people are the way they are, not for me. But some people don't have as many scars as I do, and so they're maybe more sensitive to it. So you can set boundaries. Like if I reach out to you on social media and you don't respond to me, I'm not going to be mad at you. You don't owe me anything. I just, and I appreciate the same grace, because I'm bad sometimes about getting back to people. But like, you don't have to respond to every comment. You don't have to reply to every demand for video. I've had people demand that I get on their Twitch server so that we could debate. I'm like, yeah, block. I just don't need that noise. And so, like Shaylee said, like, the block button's there for a reason. We can all be friends with each other, but you don't need to extend yourself beyond what you can do. Like, that wouldn't be healthy. So be healthy, have boundaries, ask for help with friends. You know, a lot of you ask me for help, and I do my best to try to do that. And a lot of you have helped me out. So boundaries, be healthy, have fun. It's all about fun. And if one last thing about that, if the people that I challenge that are just being class A jerks on something like TikTok about Star Wars, if you can't handle being a decent human about Star Wars, how are you going to handle the actually big stuff in life? Like, you know, voting responsibly, you know, being a productive member of society, taking care of a family. Like, there are bigger things than nerd stuff. And how you act in one part of your life is how you act in all of your life. So that's why I use my platform to try to be a positive influence on that stuff. Because I want you all to be better citizens. Me too. Like, you all are helping me. I don't mean you all, but everybody that is on our platforms. And so just be healthy, have fun. I love every one of you.
Awesome. You know, as our good friend, a dude named Ked would say, be better, nerds.
That's right.
I was trying to see if I can queue up "Thank you for being a friend," but it wasn't happening. I should have prepared that beforehand. Anyways, thank you guys.
Always dreamed of Square.
Stoob, did you go? Did you go? I don't remember hearing. Yeah, did you do your? Oh, she did. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh yeah.
Making sure everybody
okay,
got
where?
The guy
Jay
Stoops.
Where did
I
we
talked
go?
so
Where
long that
who
he
were we-
forgot. Who
Gotcha. I'm so. We've been
You
talking for 3 hours,
kidnapped
guys.
Kathleen Kennedy. You've got the green light.
We've been talking for 3 hours. I don't know what time is anymore.
You know, actually, yes. Speaking of which, you know, obviously you can find me here if you're watching this. Of course, there's audio versions of this podcast everywhere. But you know, join us on Dyad in the Forest. It's always fun, and there's gonna be a lot more YouTube content coming as well. So, thank you everyone for joining. This has been an amazing experience, and I love all you guys. But I will bid you good night, and may the Force be with you always.
Love you, bro. Thanks for having me.